When I was just a young boy and you were just a young girl, we heard that roll. Standing on the terraces, we knew we'd never walk alone. No matter where I traveled, no matter where I told, the thing I wanna see the most is the Glasgow Celtics goal. I've been to Munich, been to Paris and Berlin. I watched injustice fall upon you in Turin, and I've shared the pain and glory with the friends that I have made as I dance from place to place in green and white on a worldwide tin parade. I've roared the boys to victory, from the north to the south to the east and west. Tims of many cultures, from Aloha all the way to Bangladesh, singing songs together as a Celtic family. One people under green and white shouting, sure it's a grand old tea. I've been to Munich, been to Paris and Berlin. I watched injustice fall upon you in Turin, and I shared the pain and glory with the friends that I have made as I dance from place to place in green and white on a worldwide tin parade. I've been an E-Tim, been a lost boy, I get the quick news. I'm Celtic minded, I found the Celtic underground. On the huddle board we gathered round to meet on Kerrydale Street. I've been to Munich, been to Paris and Berlin. I watched injustice fall upon you in Turin, and I've shared the pain and glory with the friends that I have made as I dance from place to place in green and white on a worldwide tin parade.
Hello and welcome to the HomeBhoys live phone-in show here on a Monday night, a few minutes late. We're here on Happy New Year, first of all. Hope you all had a good time. I slept through the New Year's celebrations because I was sick and I'm a bit of a fanny. So it wasn't really that much fun for me, but I hope you all had a good time. Hopefully you'll ring up and tell us your stories of New Year joy. Plenty to talk about. Two games. It was 2 games between last week's... Yeah, it was 2 games between last week's show and this week. So plenty to talk about. And aside from that, obviously some other issues that need to be addressed that have arisen in the... I don't know, could you even say media anymore? Online blogs and stuff that we're going to have to address later on tonight. First things first, of course, you want to call us up? Get us on Skype. Skype is easy. Download it. Very simple. Search for HomeBhoys. Add us as a contact. We'll accept it. Give us a call. We'll add you into the conversation, and hopefully I don't forget that you're there, and we'll bring you in. Other ways, you can call us on the HomeBhoys landline number, which is a Glasgow number, which is 0141 356 7327, and that'll cost you the price of a Glasgow local number. So not going to cost you that much. Well, obviously it depends on where you are. Of course, you can hit us up on Twitter at HomeBhoys or at Hail Media. In the email, homeboys@gmail.com, hailmedia@gmail.com. All those super technological ways of getting in contact with us. We're going to just jump straight into it tonight. We're going to just introduce who's here. We're waiting on Harper. Harper's in the shower, conditioning his scalp. So he'll be with us hopefully in a few minutes. We're joined, of course, by Mr. Jason Higgins, all the way from Wishaw.
How you doing? Hail.
Did you have a good New Year?
I did, mate. It was quiet at the Bells, and then I went out. One of my mates, he's back for Canada. He emigrated to Canada 7 years ago, so I went out for a few drinks with him. Then another mate I used to work with went out for a few drinks with him. So I had a couple of wee days out, and I enjoyed it.
You didn't bring the missus anymore, no? Just.
Nah, no. Since New Year, London before New Year, that was good, and obviously 2 good hoops wins. So, aye, happy days. I'm pretty happy. No, some of the morning bastards you see in Twitter and stuff like that.
So you took her to London. That's her done to Easter, is it?
What's that?
You took her to London. That's her finished at Easter.
Aye.
Of course, joined by the green and white Raider, Mr. Paul Larkin, up to his neck in documentary footage.
I am indeed. Yes. Hello.
So we're going to get into it. First, I didn't see yesterday's match, so we'll head back to the Partick match last week. Solo Joe Ledley goal, another 1-0 win for Celtic. The thing that struck me, just looking here at the report here, was the attendance of 52,670.
Nah, forget that.
So I was thinking either that's not the truth, or everybody was given like Harry Potter invisibility cloaks, and they all just arrived and nobody could see them, or by some sort of CGI miracle they managed to blank out everybody, because there certainly wasn't 52,000.
There was no public transport for a kick-off. It was, the weather's been brutal, and it was New Year's Day, so I don't know. What do you think, Paul?
I mean, it was maybe just a wee bit more than it was at the Hearts game, I thought.
Aye.
I came from the centre of Glasgow, and there was nobody on the streets, as you say. Celtic had laid on the buses for various destinations around the outskirts of Glasgow, whatever. The weather was absolutely horrific, and but as Jason says, it certainly wasn't 52,000 there, that's for sure.
See, the thing is, there's a big deal getting made about attendances now, and about people staying away. I want to wait until the holiday season's over, the weather maybe gets a bit more inclement, and then judge it for then on. Because I know that now. See, my two kids haven't used their season ticket in weeks, and it's just too cold to take them. And I sit in the top tier. It's bloody freezing. And they're just no interested in going, and I think with all the issues we've got surrounding the club, I think summer fit was one of the biggest issues of the lot. I don't know, but aye, I know there's a lot made about attendances and things like that, and people are buying their season tickets and no going for whatever reason, but I think it's a situation with the holiday period and that as well.
Harper's joined us. Harper, you there?
Hi, man.
You're out of the shower, all fresh.
I was just getting my new tattoo washed.
You have a new tattoo? What'd you get?
Hoverboard tattoo. I have to get my Green Brigade one covered up, no? 2013, man, no? Fuck it.
You gotta move with the you gotta move
with the times, man. No?
Exactly, you gotta move with the times. You gotta remain
the cool kids.
You gotta remain relevant, you know what I mean?
Right. Might even get super underneath it if I get extra money. Super up.
Right.
So, anyway, back to... Did you have a good New Year's, Harper?
Quiet, man. New Year's Day was the pub was mobbed for the game. Like, no, there was about 40 of us in watching the game. Boys, this is Margaret's came down and made a day, so that was good crack.
And did it go on all day, yeah?
Well, it did for me anyway. About half of us stayed out right through to definitely, so that was good.
Last man standing.
In Ireland, do you have to? Is the second no a bank holiday or anything?
No.
You have to go back to work on the second.
Everybody goes back the second. I had a holiday, and after a holiday, and like, no, everybody's looking at me. You take the second off, and I'm like, you're working. You know what I mean?
But then the
it's hard to get used to, like.
But where you were was flooded as well, wasn't it?
Aye, that was on Friday.
Friday was the day off. So anyway, the Glasgow Derby, the Partick Thistle game. Now my recollection of it is a bit scarce because I was sick and kind of just in and out of it a bit, but it didn't exactly grip me. You know what I mean? I thought Partick were pretty good in the break, but in terms of it wasn't. I don't think it was a great game. Great goal by Joe Ledley, but apart from that, I wasn't overly. I wasn't glued to the game. I mean, I was happily kind of distracted here and there the odd time.
It was just a carry on, really, for recent performances, really, to be fair.
And then St Mirren bucked the trend in the second half. But it was a bit turgid, to be honest with you. Good goal for Ledley, as you say. And aye, wasn't very inspiring, but I think a lot of it today is the conditions and just situation. But nah, there was nothing to write home about, it wasn't it?
Well, that's right, we lost our feed for about 10 minutes, right? Because the internet went down in the pub. I didn't see anybody like checking their phones to see if it was a goal. So it was a bit flat, to be fair.
Move on to St Mirren.
Is that it?
I just think what Harper says here about like the 3-1. I mean, it just seems like the opposition just find new and innovative ways to get the ball taken off them by Virgil van Dijk. You know, that's about it really. But no, St Mirren was certainly a lot better. You know.
The thing is as well. Mr. Stato, what is the record for Celtic keeping clean sheets? What's the record in a row?
In a row, I think it's 12.
12 games, bloody hell.
So we're getting very, very close. And, you know, I personally think that Van Dijk is clearly different class. I mean, but I think Ambrose has really stepped up in the last few weeks. I know, you know, he's a real confidence player. Added to the fact that I think we've all talked about Izagiri now because he's back to his best.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. We're getting that kind of thing, and we seem to have an embarrassment of riches at right back as well. Obviously Lustig's out now, but Matthews is there, and obviously Fisher as well. So we're at platform, and you know, you could argue we're playing a wee bit of a defensive sort of midfield now. We're only really needing a goal to win a game. But in terms of, you know, because a lot of these games we've scored early goals, and then opposition have tried to make a candidate kind of thing. Whereas, you know, yesterday we never got the early goal, so I was even more delighted to see us. I felt all we needed to do was get into a rhythm yesterday, you know, and once we did, we absolutely blew St Mirren away. I mean, if you just take Chris Collins' 2 goals, you know, he knew where the ball was coming for the first one, and the second one is as good a goal as you'll ever see.
I know.
Take it at pace, you know.
And he shot in the first half that hit the stanchion. Bloody hell. What a bit of skill that was, the way he turned on it. He knew exactly what he was doing, and Mulgrew hitting the post in the first half. I kind of agree with Lenny's after-match comments when he says he thought he played pretty well in the first half, but for a couple of insides of the post, we could have been 2-0 up, and you know, nobody would be mentioning it. But as usual, everybody's moaning at half time, this is crap, that's crap, but the second half was brilliant. That was probably better than the Hearts and Motherwell game for me for that 20-25 minute spell.
It was go that far, but I think I agree with you in the first half. The game was better than what people were making it.
Aye.
Someone played alright and all. No, at least they tried to come out.
I think for that period in the second half, great to see Stokes getting a goal, but Stokes' shot outside the box, he could have had one in the first half as well. It was unlucky, great save for the keeper, and then he could have had 2 in the second half. And Scott Brown, what a shot that was! Some save for their keeper as well. So we could have scored 7 or 8 easy yesterday. I thought for that 25-minute spell was as good as we've played this season. Maybe St Mirren were brutal. I don't know, but I just thought Celtic were excellent, and I was delighted. I
didn't see the game, but I was kind of keeping it up to date with it, like on Twitter and Facebook, and people were going like, brutal first half. And then I seen the highlights today, and I was like, it actually looked like a pretty decent game. First half looked good. I mean, had that wee chip Commons hit the post with, had that gone in, you're talking maybe goal of the season contender, like. Aye,
I know. And then he gets goal of the season contender in the second half.
I mean, he's on fire. I mean, he's got some great form going on at the minute. I mean, I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe the likes of someone like Wanyama going gives us like some Commons more more room to shine. I don't really know, but he's really a linchpin in that team now.
He's a great player.
To me, the entire thing falls on getting a proper centre forward man, and everyone will just quickly replace it.
Yeah, well, it was good to see a striker score finally.
But I mean, I think Stokes will come on back onto his game with a proper striker beside him. I think the midfield will play properly as you'll notice. It seems a lot more defensive than I think it really is. I just don't think the formation suits us. We put that striker up top with the Stokes. I think that'll all fall in place if we can just get that signing. I really believe that. I mean, the midfield, I seen there was a good friend of yours, Jason, started a thread on Celtic Minded yesterday saying it was lost midfield in 15 years. I mean, I don't know if I can agree with that at all. You know what I mean? I get that. I get the fact that the players that are in there maybe aren't the most creative when you're talking about Arthur Mulgrew was really good yesterday, by the way. You're talking about Mulgrew, Redley, Brown, but, right, we get it, they're no world beaters, they're no world class, we get that, right? But there's no way they're anywhere as bad as some people are saying, like, no, I don't understand it, man, like, no. And as I say, I think they'll come back into their own when they get that proper formation, the tactics. I don't know, you can put the finger and blame it when and here. I just don't think we've got the personnel.
Just a few signings haven't turned out the way we would have wanted. And alright, but
that was another thing with the see, just when you say that, somebody says, it was all there in signings on the bench. It's all there in signings on the park and off. Apart from maybe 2 players, like.
I can know it's just some folk. There is a right lot of Celtic fans at the minute for various reasons just need to moan all the time. And you know who they are. You know it's the same folk constantly, and they're just constantly down or up about everything. I mean, some of them have got justifiable reasons because of what's going on, and I don't know, the way the fans are getting treated and things like that. But as for on the park, how can we really complain? I know everybody's saying about entertaining football and stuff like that, but I just think they've been doing.
What have they dropped? 4 points, 6 points, is it? 4 draws.
6 points, 3 draws, and
3 draws.
17 wins and 3 draws. I mean, Jesus, and all these clean sheets. And you're right, Jason, that the entertainment factor is maybe missing a wee bit, but that's only because we've had a run of games like that. And I honestly believe we'll come out this transfer window stronger. And I think it'll turn around big time. And I think they'll come back for the wee break in Turkey if they ever get away, that is. They will come back for that energised. I know what we say, they're only football players and blah blah blah, and that's all they do is play a game or 2 games a week and train. But no, it will make a wee bit difference, I think, to get away and get a bit camaraderie, the bit cracking that and walking back and a wee bit of sun on their back. But, no, I think that'll make a big difference as well.
I don't know, but it's like you're looking at. You've got to give credit to the teams we're playing. I know they're all saying like the Scottish football's never been as low a level, but teams are getting wise, and maybe you give a bit of credit to them. They're defending deep against us, and they're finding out ways to nullify what the threat that we've got. And it's up to us to break them down. But sometimes the credit's got to go to the other team. But it's definitely one of the best defences I've ever seen as a Celtic supporter.
Not just that out. They're defending, but the way they attack as well and get forward and start to play. I mean, talk about Commons. I mean, he must be the hardest guy in Scottish football to stop because he plays between the lines of the defence and the midfield. Now, if the teams detail a man to mark him, he just drags him all over the pitch all the time. And he plays the game as though he's not got a care in the world, and maybe he hasn't. You know what I mean? And that seems to be at his best. I think. When you see our centre-halves going forward, like Van Dijk and Ambrose, the opposition have set up to kind of stop us, and they're thinking, do we move out of position to try and stop him, or do we just let him keep coming? Either way, we win. I mean, it's a weird one. I mean, if you take, we're kind of, I think now we're something like 11 points clear with a game in hand over Aberdeen, and the funny thing about it is Aberdeen have lost 2 games to Hearts this season. So if they'd actually won the games, first of all, Hearts would be definitely relegated by now, and Aberdeen would actually be there or thereabouts in a league race. So, it's kind of swings and roundabouts, but, you just can't argue with the results and the clean sheets right now, you know what I mean? It's been like a juggernaut in the last 5, 6, 7 games, you know what I mean? And you take into consideration the teams, we've scalped St Mirren, who took 4 off Dun United last week, we've scalped Motherwell, who then have won 5 games in a row. So none of these teams are mugs, you know what I mean? It's not just a case of, well, we're up against crap, so we're going to win. You've still got to earn the right, and I think one of the key points and one of the differences between this season and last season has been the attitude of the player. Since that Barcelona game, the players have got their sleeves rolled up and says, right, we need to prove ourselves once again, and I think they've really been doing that last week.
But we're a really hard team. For any team that does want to come out and try and play football against us, we're a hard team to break down. Because the defence is brilliant, and we have got a solid midfield in there with that midfield lined up, I mean, and even when you take the fact that Lustig is out at the minute, you've got him to come back in, and I'd probably keep Matthews in the team and play on the right side of the midfield. He's great going for it. He's got that delivery with the throw and all that. We're a hard team to break down. We'll obviously look at the clean sheets. We've got a great goalkeeper at the back there as well, who still pulling off saves when he has to make them in games like so. It's just if we could just get that striker. I know Lenny's talking about he's looking for 4 players, a left back, a creative midfielder. I just want really desperately want to see us get that striker. Like.
You mentioned midfield.
I'm a bit undecided because, see, at the end of the day, what do we need? I know it's to build for the Champions League assault next season, but for the end of this season, we don't need MD.
I mean, just what you said, Jason. We should already be planning for next season. The league's won.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Or we go down the route of what we said. We've all banged on about is getting the likes of Partick in the team right now. But I would like us to get a striker in we know who comes in, starts scoring goals right away. You know what, we're going to go into next season pretty strong with goal scorers. So
see one thing I'd like to ask. Why is Baldy get sort of cult status with the fans? Is it just because his name rhymes with a daft song? When Bangura and stuff like that wasn't he given anything like as much sort of support, do you know what I mean? See when Baldy comes on, the fans all cheer and sort of they stick with him. Is he showing something?
I think he has a run of games in his shite. I think that'll disappear. Do you know what I mean?
Bangura never got a run of games, did he?
He just looks like a dick.
He had a daft haircut, so.
No, but see, do you not think though it has a lot to do with the fact that people feel a bit sorry for him because there's no other chance?
I don't think Bangura get much of a chance either. Don't know. There you go. I don't think Rasmussen get much of a chance.
Oh Jesus, here. There's a blast from the past.
Looked off alright too though. His first few games looked alright.
He looked like that kind of penalty box player you wanted, but then it just didn't seem to work out for him.
See, we don't see them behind closed doors, obviously, and what they're doing in training, so at the end of the day, aye. There you go, just thought I'd ask that.
We've been joined by our first caller, Alistair.
Hi, Joe.
How's things, mate? Happy New Year.
Hi, Happy New Year, mate. And the rest of you guys.
Yeah, man.
Happy New Year, Alistair.
No, it was a bit yesterday, and I thought we started off alright, and honestly, so we've got to take into consideration as well, guys, as the conditions. The park was heavy, I know, and it wasn't the best of park, but I thought once we settled in there, we were fine. It was just getting that bit for a goal, which again we never get the credit for, but then again what else is new? So, no, it's been good, but been good results. It's not going to be flashy every week, but it was good. It was good. So, what do you guys think?
We don't think, we just talk shit.
I don't know what to say, but I think.
I believe it. Anyway, transfer one day. You believe in Stephen Fletcher, then?
No.
Not for 6 million anyway.
6 million?
No, I don't want him.
Hey, the best is they'll want more than 6 million for him. They paid 12 for him and he's got 2.5 years left in his contract.
Jesus, that's what they paid for him, man.
And by the way, he's not a goal scorer. It's not.
He's probably better than anything we've got at the minute.
I agree with that,
No, he's not a goal scorer.
I don't want to see Celtic spending 6 million quid in MD. I think it's pointless.
It's not spending the 6 million quid, Jason.
But it's the full package. Why are you playing in the Scottish League? Should you be spending 6 million quid on somebody when your nearest rival can't spend 100 grand on somebody?
Do honestly believe that's even?
I didn't believe it.
I don't believe it.
But if you're going to spend £6 million, don't go to England and spend it, because you're not going to get value for money. Go out to Europe and spend £6 million.
But see, the thing is, what's 6 million quid going to get us? Is it going to get us like competing in the Champions League at the business end of it?
Well, Stephen Fletcher, isn't it? That's for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Why do you need these players?
The only thing that would guarantee you really, it would probably be qualifying rounds easier.
Wait a minute.
It's not making a dead certainty.
If we were really going out to spend £6 million on a player like it, it'd have to be one of these guys that, oh my God, everybody's going to want the name on the back of the jersey and everything. Nobody's rushing to
Nobody's queuing up outside Parkhead the wave and scream at Stephen Fletcher like at 12 o'clock at night.
See if it was some young Argentinian or, do you know what I mean, somebody that was
Somebody's
going to be the next big thing, you know, and he was using us as a stepping stone to get to England or whatever. You're like, fair enough. But Stephen Fletcher, nah, no thanks. That boy Andy Reid would do as good a job him the Notts Forest.
Too old.
I know, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think you need to look at Gary. If you're going to England, you need to look at somebody like Gary Hooper. And you need to look at guys who are prolific in the lower divisions. And you bring them up here. But the thing is, their prices are going up now. Whereas you got Hooper for $2 million or whatever, there or thereabouts. They will look for 5, 6.
I mentioned that time last year that you might get him. It's only because his club apparently needs the money. Jordan Wood.
Well, he was on the bench. He was on the bench yesterday for Blackburn. I mean, he was obviously out of a price range when he went to Blackburn because he paid £8 million for him. But I think the problem is this: when we signed Gary Hooper, you know, we were able to bet him in for a couple of years, make him Champions League ready. We can't do that now. There's like
I agree.
Way, you know.
I agree.
Fletcher, you know.
See, just there, like, on Fletcher, like, $6 million, it's beyond belief, like, no? I mean, we spoke about Jelavic, right? Everton are supposedly going to want to get rid of him, Jason Knight. I know he scored 2 goals there at the weekend, right? But I mean, I'd rather have him than Stephen Fletcher for probably half the money.
Yeah, a bit more.
For half the money, probably. Would you get him for $3 million, maybe?
Well, they paid 5 for him, or 4.5, was it? So I think I don't know if they would take it because that Delafeu is injured, so maybe they're not as keen in selling him on.
I'm just meaning the point where there's better players out there. There's better players who are proven goal scorers that we could probably be doing it rather than spend $6 million on Stephen Fletcher, who's injured half the time anyway. That's the point I was trying to make. Like, no, spoke about Jelavic, like, no.
Did any of you know that there were no disabled wheelchairs actually the tickets for yesterday? The man made a contact just getting it out there. Two or 3 guys had to go and get ordinary tickets for yesterday because they wouldn't use disabled tickets. And
so did you not make the game yesterday, Alistair? Right, so they didn't. So did they always offer disabled tickets, and they made a mistake yesterday?
I'll tell you what it was, Jason. They put when they first moved in there, you would get 13 to 14 spaces. But since Serco started giving us disabled tickets, I think it was 5 or 4 spaces. Can't mind really, but 5 or 4 spaces. So Mirren in their wisdom about trying to cut it down. And now all of a sudden, because I phoned Simone and she said they're all away. So I phoned Celtic Park and they said, we're still waiting back to hear from them. So, and then I eventually got an email saying Simone have got back to they're all away. And I spoke to the woman that deals with tickets, Jason, and she said they hadn't heard a thing. So.
Right. Oh, good.
We've been trying
anyway, I'll not be back there anyway, that's for sure.
Right, no good, mate.
But that's that happened. So, all the best, guys, and I hope you have a good new year. And I'll not put that back in your Facebook, Jason, alright? And guys, listen to me.
Great bother, pal.
Alright, pal.
Hey, Alistair, mate, take it easy, pal.
Jerry.
Alright, cheers, pal.
Easy, pal.
What about that cheeky pricks playing gypsies, tramps and thieves?
I heard about it.
Huh?
We've been joined by another caller, Brendan.
How you doing, boy? You alright?
That's such things, you alright?
You alright, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, Jason, Harper, Paul.
Right, man, Jim, you're mad.
Yeah, yourselves. I was up there for the Partick game. It was brutal, mate. The weather, nightmare. It was absolutely freezing cold. We couldn't be any more than 25,000 in that ground. It was dire weather-wise. But we got the 3 points. That's all that matters to me. Foster kept us in it with that save. That save when the guy headed that across the goal.
That was a great save.
Made a cracking save. So I was right in line with that because I was in the south corner because I went up with my wife and daughter for 3 days. So I took them. They were all wrapped up. They were freezing cold. But we kept moving back seats because it was pissing do, as you know. Yeah, we got the 3 points. So I was happy with that.
The one thing that's very impressive about Foster is he's such a versatile goalkeeper. You know what I mean? He seems to be able to handle any situation. I mean, that was a tough save to make. You know what I mean? It was kind of thing.
A cracking save.
Absolutely brilliant. You know what I mean? And I don't think he knew too much about it, but he had the presence of mind to make him spread himself as much as he could to basically just knock the ball basically along the lane. You know, it's just fantastic.
What do you mean versatile? Like you play it from that?
I can do anything. he's probably booking the hotels as well, like Tony Adams.
I mean, to be fair, first of all, they had a bit of a go that day. They didn't sit back and defend. They were quite good on the break. They made Celtic work for the win.
And the thing about them on the break was the conditions kind of helped that because it was so slick. So I mean, they were playing the ball quick up the field, and they didn't have a lot of pace, but I mean they were trying. I mean they were busting a gut.
Can I just come in with a tweet right for Tara because I'll forget because I end up getting loads of tweets right, and Brendan will bring you right back in afterwards, right?
No problem.
She's just saying that. Oh shit! What is she saying? Oh, can you give her a race night a wee shout out? So the race night's on the 15th of February in the Immaculate Conception Church from 7 p.m. It's bring your own ball and all help gratefully received. £3 a ticket. If you want more info on that, I would just tweet Tara at Tara G MAG Tara G Mag. She's Bottle of Spirit sponsors a race. Name it and £5 per horse. And she also sent me a tweet earlier on to say, can you mention that we're back distributing on Friday this week? That's obviously for the food bank. Walk-ins get less allocation now, and getting referred as the best bet. So that was just the 2 wee announcements to Tara, just because I'd end up losing that track of that. So.
Has she lost her Skype number?
I said to her, just call in, you maniac, and she said, hope I'd have news about a home. I'll phone him next week.
Alright, she's going to call him next week. So when is the race night?
Friday the 15th of February.
Right, okay.
He's probably just afraid you two will start fawning like a couple of puppies again.
What's that?
He's probably just afraid you two will start drooling like a couple of puppies. Right?
What, the race night?
No, you two when she calls in.
What's the Joe? Alright, whatever, mate.
Anyway, bro, we'll talk with her. I had Brendan talking there, didn't we?
Right, sorry, Brendan.
Yeah, no problem. Just going back to this Fletcher rumour. Never going to happen, is it? There's no way that Celtic are going to pay £6 million. There's no way he's going to go from the EPL to the Scottish Premier. It's going to be a drop in wages. We should have bought him 4 years ago in Strachan's last season. That's when we should have bought him.
Right.
It's not going to happen. The only time any players will come to the Scottish League from the EPL is for a payday right at the end.
I think they can file that under a load of pish anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely. I think the model we've got at the moment, trying to unearth somebody that can come to Celtic, like Hooper. I mean, he was an unknown really, regards to the rest of the Premier League. But he came up to Celtic. Celtic developed him, scored a lot of goals. He's gone down to Norwich, and in a struggling side, he's starting to score goals, isn't he?
Yeah. Do you think though when Neil Lennon's talking about spending money in that, do you think maybe there is a wee bit of we want to maybe try and get some sort of name in to maybe try and appease fans or bring crowds back, or to sell those jerseys with a name on the back or something? I'm not saying that desperate for that, but something along those lines.
Yeah, sorry there. I think what we do need is a finished article, but they cost a lot of money, don't they?
Well, that's the thing, Brendan. I mean, there's quite a big drop off between guys who are nobodies with potential to guys who have quality and have pedigree and have proved it elsewhere. I mean, like if you can pick somebody up for maybe $1 million at most, you know what I mean? You'll pay for somebody decent from Europe. But if you go for a guy who's maybe the same down south, you can be talking like treble the money for the same sort of product.
But the thing, I think you need to weigh up, Joe, as well. If you're signing a guy for Europe, like we've done with Assad and stuff like that, it's going to take them a while to bed down here, and maybe they're not going to get that time. Why don't we look at the boy Mackay for Inverness? Who would have thought? Do you know what I mean? Who would have thought Skippy when we signed him for Motherwell would have been a success? Who was salivating at that? But I think Scott McDonald became a really valuable player for us. Thought he done really well. Gary Hooper, he kind of was the finished article when we signed him, even though he was doing it in the lower leagues. It's not really much a step up in class coming to the Scottish Premier League.
No, the Championship and the Scottish Premier are very much, I think the stronger teams obviously in the Championship, but at Celtic's end, then pretty much the same level, isn't it?
No, I think we would win the Championship, Brendan, if we played in it. I think we would win it quite easy. But you're right, there's some big teams there, but I think the standard of football's on a similar level to Scotland.
Yeah,
right. But your guy Mackay for Inverness, what's he scored 14, 15 goals this season? I don't know. Is it worth it? Is it worth going for him? You're not going to pay that much money.
What about Stevie?
I thought Griffiths. Yeah, I thought Griffiths. It was at Hibston. Obviously, it was at Wolves. But he was not a bad chap. Celtic up there.
He's
domestically. You know what I mean?
Great player, but he's not like the penalty box player that we're talking about. He's another.
Yeah.
But I think he's got more in his locker than. I think he's more in the Chris Commons kind of mould.
Well, then we're talking about bad strikers. Chris Commons has scored 17 goals this season.
14.
I know. I think it's 17, including
17 overall.
But I know, Joe. But you can't be relying on that. That's not. It's everybody's job to get goals, but you still need to have a striker on the park.
Absolutely.
We haven't replaced Super, have we? That's the bottom line. We haven't replaced somebody in that 6 yard box.
Yeah.
In
I was a wee bit flippant about what was on that thread earlier. I think the point was getting made about the subs all being signed by Lennon, but it's all guys that he'd signed this season and they've not really made an impact. When you got Baldy, Pookie, and Borictor sitting on the bench side. I think what maybe Brendan's saying is I'd like to, if we sign somebody to come straight into the team, not just somebody to sit on the bench side, not somebody we want to see come straight in.
I would see you want that guy. I mean, like, say if you're abroad, you want that guy that you're tuning in to see his first game. You know what I mean?
Right.
To see him put the jersey on. You want that guy, but I just don't think he's out there at the minute. I mean, I've just had a wee text there for a good friend of mine. Like, we're being anonymous. Mackay's out. We're not signing him. He's a right one for Corby in Northamptonshire, so we don't want him anywhere near Celtic. Can you imagine Griffith? Is Griffith not a bit of a head case as well?
I don't know, but I'll not repeat what the text said. But I think that's what we should be looking at. I really want to go for. But yeah, as you said, Paul earlier on, Jordan Rhodes. I mean, look at what they were looking for him. When we go to Hooper for I don't know what was Hooper was under 2 million, or was it 2.5 million?
2.1.
But the thing is, I mean, do we need to sign a striker that's got to score goals in the SPL? Not really. I mean, we're absolutely romping the league. All we need is we think that we can perform in the Champions League. That's what we're looking for, isn't it? I mean, and to me, that's just got to come down to. I wouldn't go near England myself because, as you say, some of the players go, and especially the Championship with people that were average in the SPL like Charlie Adam can shine, and. You've got to get your scouting network sorted out, and you've got to find these players, all over the world, basically. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I agree with this. I'm certainly not wanting a Robbie Keane type thing, but I'm a bit pissed off that we didn't come in at least have a look at the MLS and look at maybe 2 or 3 for there that weren't playing right now, and had 2 or 3 months to just get things going again, because we've seen the success of people like Landon Donovan and that when they've came over. And these guys give you everything. They really do give you everything. I mean, to me, it's not about bums on seats. It's about preparing for the Champions League season, because we didn't exactly cover ourselves in glory in the qualifiers this season. All right, we got through, but by the skin of our teeth, and we really don't want to go through that again, do we?
But Paul, do you mean somebody from the MLS on loan?
Aye, just 2 or 3 months.
I don't know if that prepares us for the Champions League though. Do you know what I mean? I want to get a player who's going to be there next season.
No, it doesn't. But what I'm saying is, I mean, we're running a team right now that's been basically the same team every week for the past God knows how many games. I'm talking about the period from January to March before we would have to go back to the MLS, where we could rest a few of these players with the Champions League in mind, about saying, right, because Lennon keeps telling us some guys here played 35 games already this season. If they keep going at the same rate, they're going to be playing about 55, and that's, you know what you want for them to then go into a 2-3 week pre-season, and then before they know it, they're back again,
And if you're talking about guys like Samaras, he could be playing in the World Cup as well. If he's not there,
Is Aguirre as well?
I think Samaras isn't. I think so as well. I think so as well, and he's hardly been playing anyway, to be honest with you. And even when he has been playing, he's not been playing.
I mean, rather than bring a lone player in, I'd like to see some of the younger guys given a chance.
I mean, I think we all would, but are they any good? You know, this is the thing.
Oh, you Atherton came on the other week and scored, didn't you? I know against Hearts. Henderson came on. I think you've put maybe 2 in at a time.
Aye, we've been saying that for a while here, mate. I agree with that.
I won't bring a lone player in to give players a rest. I'll use what we've got in, the youngster-wise.
Tell us some, Brendan, see when you were up at the game, did you, obviously with the Green Brigade and stuff like that, did you notice a marked difference in the atmosphere, or did it make any difference to yourself?
Well, I got to watch Celtic, but
Aye.
I'm a GB fan. You know what they bring to. I go at least twice a year, and when they're there, they obviously add to the atmosphere. It was a horrible day, as you know. There was no atmosphere on the ground whatsoever. There was a few guys behind me trying to sing songs, but it wasn't happening. Nobody was interested in singing songs. I kept looking over to the corner like you do, and there was just nothing there. A few guys with a couple of flags, but it was I think that it's a big stadium to have 25,000 people in, isn't it?
Yeah.
If there's nobody singing, there's just no atmosphere whatsoever.
Singing in the rain would have gone down well.
Sorry, go on.
Singing in the rain would have gone down well, I'll tell you.
Jesus. Yeah. There was no atmosphere at the game at all.
Aye, I know.
We've been joined by another caller. Darren.
Hi, how are you?
What's the crack, mate?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, lad. Thank you. Happy New Year's, kids.
Where are you, Darren?
Happy New Year, mate.
I'm in Dublin.
You're in Dublin. Good man. What did you want to talk about, Darren?
No, it was actually just on last week, and it said, I think I was listening to the show, and I put on and just said to say, look, I've listened to this for a long time, and just saying, congrats on a great show, and you just said to call in next week, so I said I'd make that a New Year's resolution, so.
That's good to hear you. It's good to have you on, Darren. Happy days. First time caller, long time listener. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. So at the minute we're kind of talking about transfers, right? I mean, obviously, everybody wants a striker, right? Paul made a good point. We don't really need a striker in terms of winning the league. I mean, but it's January. The window's open. We want to see somebody come in. We want to see something happen. I mean, who would you kind of look towards, or where would you look towards maybe trying to buy somebody if it was up to you?
I'd agree I definitely agree with what you're saying there, but I'd agree with Fletcher as well, because I think that, okay, I 100% agree with what was said earlier, that, okay, we're competing with people who are looking to spend 100 grand on anything, and we're looking to spend 6 million, and that's right for Scotland, definitely, but if we're looking at the Champions League and we're looking at other things, I think that, and also I think what we haven't really looked at really is Stokes's form as well, that really since Hooper's gone, I think it's like I think he needs someone to play off. He needs someone on that level to play off that can help him. And I think Fletcher could do that. I really do. And I think that if what's right is that he's eager to come up. They said he's unhappy where he is and he wants to come up to us. And if we have that, I think that would be an absolute. I think it would be great. It's a lot of money. It's a hell of a lot of money. And I think that they're looking for 6 million for him. And I wonder, did kind of Martin O'Neill have a quiet word with Dermot Desmond as well, just to say, I'm sure he was there during his time as well, and you wonder was something said then as well, just to see if but I think he will be good. I think it's a hell of a lot of money, but I think if we're looking, if what Lenny says is right, to have the bet in the players now for Champions League for next year. I know that the league is a foregone conclusion, but I think it would be a great bit of business. It's a lot of money, I know that, but I think it could be one of those players. It could be one of those things that turns out to be very, very good.
I think the last player we spent about £6 million on might have been John Hartson, was it?
Was it?
Yeah. Really.
In fairness, but then again, John Hartson came up with quite a good track record. I mean, first, he wasn't setting the world on fire, but I mean, and it did take him nearly took him 19 games, didn't it, to get scoring? Was it? Was it less than that? Paul, you're the one to turn to for that.
Wasn't it 19 games?
I don't think so, you don't know.
Yeah, he scored 100 goals in his career.
I mean,
maybe 9 games.
The thing about Fletcher, people keep saying he's injury prone. I mean, the guy's played 300 games and he's only 26, so he's had injury problems the last time. I mean, I think there's definitely something going on with this, and I think that what Dan says is right, that Fletcher's he's made it clear to Celtic he wants to come. The problem is he's on 45 grand a week right now.
Yeah.
So if he wants to come to Celtic, he's not going to get that. We all know that. I heard Sportsound quoting us saying we're paying 30 grand a week to Scott Brown, and that was our top. I mean, it's just nonsense. But I think if you were to shave 20-25 grand a week off that wage, and I suppose nowadays a guy's 26-year-old, he's coming at his peak, and you're a club like Celtic, you've got to pay $6 million for somebody. They're probably got to play that for a British player before they play it for a foreign player, because who knows with a foreign player?
Yeah.
Whereas with Fletcher, he's been in the SPL, he knows the score. He plays for Scotland, but he's born in Liverpool and all that kind of thing.
Was he born in Liverpool?
He was.
I thought he was Scottish.
He was brought up in Scotland, but he was born in Liverpool, and he knows the score, and he would have walked Celtic Park to come to us the first time. And I think that was brinkmanship with Rod Petrie and Peter Lawwell that time. But also, this is a guy who makes people play. He is no Gary Hooper. We all know that. He's no guy who's going to be penalty boxing. He's going to bring other players into the team. And as Darren says, that might be what Stokesy needs, because Stokesy's role's changed a bit, I think. I don't know what you guys think.
Definitely.
A penalty box scorer. Now he's all over the place setting up, He sees that particular 40 try to curl the ball in perfectly like he did yesterday, so I wouldn't be underjoyed if we got Fletcher, I'll be honest,
No, see, I think what we're looking at with Fletcher here is he's got to, from his point of view, he's got to be one to come for a lifestyle choice to come to Celtic. A career and lifestyle. He's been in Scotland before, so he knows what it is. Maybe he's one of his kids schooled up here or whatever, but he's going to have to maybe say, right, I've made plenty of money, and then I can take a drop in wages. Where I'm going to go for Sunderland is he's maybe going to go to West Ham after they get relegated or something like that. He's never going to go to... He's not going to get a team like Everton or that's not going to sign him. So he's not going to get a team that's even going to be competing in the UEFA Cup or maybe the Champions League. But with Celtic, he's going to get a shot at the Champions League, and he's going to be playing in a massive club.
What was Celtic paying wages-wise? What would be the max?
I'd say 25-30 grand.
Yeah, I'd say
he's got to take a 20 grand drop just to play up in Scotland.
I can't see him doing it, but as Paul says, maybe there's something in it. I mean,
that's £1 million a year.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it would be me, but the guy, the boy's 26 and he's probably a multi-millionaire now. I don't think we can talk for a position of understanding how multi-millionaires think when they're making decisions about their career when they've still got, 6-7 years. I mean, maybe left playing.
He's Sunderland for 14 million quid. I mean, how much would he have trousered off of that transfer, right? I mean, then his wages.
What is he, a 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 goal scorer? He's not a 1 in 2, is he?
Yeah, well, that's what we're saying. He's not a Gary Hooper. But what we talk about, I mean, we all know the SPL's crap and Scottish was crap, etc., etc., etc. And yes, you're getting less money, although I think the difference between 45 and 25 grand isn't really that much when you're talking in net terms. But what you trade, of course, is the fact that you win medals and you actually have something to show for your football, and you play in the Champions League and you get revered by a support around the world, and that is what Celtic offer. I mean, we can all be cynical about it, but that is what Celtic offer. And Stephen Fletcher, yes, of course, huge, probably got a black American Express card and all the rest of it, but he's sitting in his house when the Champions League's on. So he might have the ambition to say, well, there's an avenue right now, because as Jason says, there's no English club that's competing in the Champions League or for the Champions League going to sign him.
Right.
And it's maybe we're just being totally naive, Brendan, but I've still got this romantic notion in my head that these players do this kind of stuff and things like this get through their head. It might be utter codswallop and all they're thinking about is how much are they paying me, right, I'll go. And they don't care if they win or lose.
Samra said the same thing, didn't he? It wasn't about the money, but he might be going across to the Saudi.
I saw that,
so it's again, that's only a money move, isn't it? It's nothing else.
But Samaras, how long's he been with us? 5-6 years?
6 years.
6 years. So see, at the end of the day, if Samaras leaves, which I think he's probably going to, he leaves with my best wishes, and he gave us some great things. Yeah. And I think he's more than paid his transfer fee and whatever his wages he's got, much he's brought into the club with some of his performances. But now he's a busted flush. He's not doing it for me now.
I actually did
them 2 goals he scored at Ibrox. That made one of the best days I had in the Irish club down here. We went with a week inside with him and McCourt up front. I thought they were going to get hammered, and 2 goals you scored that day were absolutely brilliant.
Aye.
What a day we had down here.
See, last week.
It'll leave me with some good memories, but as you say, it's dead easy to be cynical because of the money these guys are earning. I know they try and say, like, you need to put that aside, but it's quite hard when you're a normal working guy and you've got people earning this kind of dough. But he's gave us some very high points, but I'm just disappointed how it's all going to finish, because he was the main linchpin last season, and I think now he's not.
Well, think about it, Jason. The 3 we lost last summer, we could be losing Ledley, Samaras, and possibly Foster this summer. That's 6 of the best players we've had for the last 3 years. Yeah. So it's going to be a total new side next season, isn't it?
Yeah, possibly. So what do we think about it, Paul? I don't know if you know, and is Ledley, is this maybe turning a wee bit?
Well, there was never going to be anything happening over the Christmas period because all the top level staff at Celtic were on holiday for 2 weeks. You know, I'm talking about executive level, so there was never going to be talks. I believe there's going to be talks tomorrow with Ledley's representatives, and there was I don't know what you would describe it as, a wee sort of soiree with Commons, and Adam Matthews, Ledley sat him down, told him, you know, do you really want to go and Premiership? And that, bear in mind that Cardiff is a likely destination, doesn't seem to be now because Big Malky's gone. Yeah. Ole Gunnar's raiding the Norwegian market already, so he might not even be on, you know, Ole Gunnar's radar.
Is he on a Turkey trip, Paul?
Yes, well, nobody is at the minute, of course, because they're all grounded.
No, but I mean, is he part of the lads that are going up across to Turkey?
Obviously, I mean, look, when you seen Samaras sitting in the stand yesterday, I mean, did anybody actually believe he had a hamstring tweak? You know what I mean? There's an offer on the table, and they're like, right, put him in cotton wool. You know what I mean? But Ledley, I think, you know, he's no daft. I mean, he's earning tremendous money at Celtic. You know, and has earned tremendous money at Celtic for the whole time he's been here. So, you know, and he clearly loves playing here and all that. And you know, I'd say actually it's probably an advantage for us that Ledley actually has played for Cardiff already, and he knows that what it's like down there, and he knows it's not necessarily grass is always greener. And you know, there's very, very few. I mean, we revere Henrik for a number of reasons, but one of them is he went on to Barcelona and Man United and that, and he's one of the few that actually bettered himself. Yeah. You know, when he went from Celtic, the rest of them kind of disappeared.
There's not many left Celtic and got better, is there?
Exactly.
I've got three tweets here, right? Tara's obviously trying to make a fool of me. The race night's on the 8th of February. No, the 15th of February. It's just been changed. Not her fault, she says. Napoleon CFC says it was 11 games for Hartson. He hit his first goal. And the Sam McLeod has given us a transfer target that we should be looking at. And his name is Pavel
Nedved.
No, Pograbiniak or something.
Well, tell me, come on and tell us about him. How are we meant to look at him? We don't sign players for Celtic.
Is Pavel Pograbiniak not available on a free worth a look or not? That's spelled P.
He obviously plays Championship Manager, doesn't he?
It's spelled Pogrebnyak. I've never heard of the boy.
By the way, so Tara's, what did Tara say? You need to buy. I'll sponsor a bottle, so you got a bottle for me, Tara, to sponsor a race. So there you go.
She says, bottle of spirit sponsors a race. Name it, and £5 per horse.
Yep, I'll sponsor a race.
We'll bring Darren back in here. Darren, you still there?
I am, yeah.
So Darren, let me ask you a wee question, mate, right? Being a Dubliner, right? Yep. What's it like when Harper goes on about it and Joe goes on about it? What's it like living in Dublin and following Celtic? Is it hard stuff?
It can and it can't be. I think people have a kind of a misconception about following Celtic, and I don't know where that's from what's in the media or from what's just their own kind of their own perception of things. But I think it's the odd bit of banter, I suppose, that you get. But the best way to put it, I suppose, was when I went to Paul's book launch in Dublin. And I went for the Asterisk years. Now, I got a mate of mine who's a diehard Liverpool fan, and he's always kind of taking the piss out of Celtic and that, and there's all a bit of banter. But after that, he kind of turned around, like he had no real conception about Celtic, or just didn't really know. He kind of just went to that because of me, like as a mate. And he turned around after that and just said, "I can see why all that means so much, and I can see why you're all so paranoid." So that kind of stuff like that, I suppose. But I think it's very friendly, you know. Like you see anyone in the hoops happy knows that hello and stuff like that. But it's I suppose it's a good thing. It's always good to follow the hoops, and that's you don't let them grind you down either, you know.
Yeah, but some people.
Dan, do you go to Quins for the games or that? Are you a member of League Podrick or anything like that?
I wouldn't remember, but I go down. Yeah, I will go down there because actually it's quite close to where I live too. So yeah, it's only down the road. So yeah, I will go down. I kind of watch the home. I'm watching the town, the boys as well. I try to get over as much as I could, of course, as well. So I'll get over twice in November for the Milan game and the Dundee United game as well. So yeah, try and get over and watch as much as I can.
See, I mean, to be fair, I think Jason's asked that question. Probably Dublin is the easiest place to support Celtic and Ireland, because you obviously there is that big beating place in Quince, and you're always going to get a big crowd in there for the games and that. Like.
Exactly, and they're very friendly as well. The Napar lads are great, you know what I mean? So it's a great place to go down there. It's great. It's actually great for the banter. It's great for the crack to go down there.
The pints in there are rotten.
I was in there for the watching the Hearts game, the 7-0 game, and I brought my 4-year-old daughter with me. That was great. Well, didn't have any crisps, so that was the downside of it. The man had no crisps. I was like, what the fuck?
Jesus Christ! No potatoes in Dublin.
Nothing. No crisps.
So Dan, do you get the chance to go over to many games?
I was over twice in November, so I'm hoping to get over this year as well. It's obviously just with work and that as well, and then trying to work things out. But I have to try and get over as much as I can, but at least twice or three times a year if I can. It's great. It's always good to get over there.
I kind of find that being a Celtic supporter in Ireland, I suppose that this being on this show kind of helps. I don't discuss football with anybody else apart from other Celtic fans. I mean, I don't really converse with like Liverpool and United fans about football because I don't really have anything in common with. And
it's different, but Joe, it'd be different if you were different when you worked in sort of like solar press in the factory when you're sitting having your tea break with.
That's true. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like now they got with the show and with like online social media and stuff. There's no need for me to have to talk to United fans or Liverpool fans or any of that stuff. But thank God. But it's just the kind of thing. I don't discuss football with those guys anymore. Like so, when they mention Liverpool United, I just kind of switch off. You know what I mean? And I've had guys mention like sit down and watch a Celtic match with me and ask me like, "Oh, what's up with all the tricolours at the Celtic matches? What's the connection to Ireland?" And to me, it's kind of like, what, you don't know. But then again, you forget that these people have no interest. You know what I mean? And like you, Harper, when you first came here, you thought it was just by default everybody was wearing Celtic tops. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it turned out to be completely the opposite, really. Yeah. You know?
That's a myth, isn't it? I was in Booterstown, Dublin, when Celtic played the first game at Carrigandy. Mm-hmm. There was one man and his dog in the pub. And the guy that was in there wasn't a Celtic fan. I was the only Celtic fan in there. So it's a bit of a myth that a lot of the Irish sport Celtic, they don't. They sport Premiership teams, Man United and Liverpool.
It's everybody's second team.
That's the thing, though. Everybody's got a Celtic top, and everybody supports Celtic. You know what I mean?
When I was in London, I couldn't make it into the Cock Tavern, King's Cross. And obviously the big Celtic supporters club there had the kids with me as well, so I don't know if you would let kids in there. So we were in O'Neill's at King's Cross, and I went in, and it was we were getting the flight up the road, and it was the start of our game. What game was it? It was Common scored the first goal.
Inverness.
It was Inverness, and it was at the start of the Inverness game. And I said that they say to the lassie, can you put it on, and she to check about 5 times that there was no Premiership games on. I says, look, it kicks off at 12:30 or 12:15. They don't start at 1:30. I think it was 12:30. And all right. So she eventually put it on, but she's bear in mind when they start talking about their games, I'm going to have to turn it on. You know, and you're like, bloody hell, you know, can you not wait to have, I was leaving before it, but say, can you not just wait to have one of their games starts? But it's fair enough, she put it on for me.
But, I mean, you really, in these places, and that's sort of like, a wee bit like being here, like, Brendan, you're saying you're in that pub, right? You've kind of got to go to the places where you know the Celtic fans are going to be. You've got to go to the proper kind of dedicated Celtic pubs, because I had the same problem here in Drogheda, and the game switched off for me in half-time, because Liverpool fans came to the pub and I was pissed off, and that's how we've set up the pub here in Drogheda. That's Celtic games on no matter what on the big screen. So I mean, you've got to check out where you're going first. Like Jason knows he would have went to the Cop, or I suppose the Broadbean Tavern's another one that used to be in London. I don't know if it's the boys are still in there, but you've got to kind of go to the pubs where you know all the Celtic fans are going to be like.
I can always mind it was a big shock to me. I was out at my mate's wedding in Lurgan, and Lurgan town centre's like half down the middle.
Oh,
and
Lurgan's a weird place.
It's a very divided community. So you're in these pubs, and I would say they would be staunchly Republican pubs and whatever. And we were in, it was the day after my mate's wedding, and Celtic were playing Rangers that day, and the early morning kick-off was Man United Arsenal. And I went into these pubs, and everybody in the pub had Man United and Arsenal shirts on. And I was like, well, they put the Celtic game on here. Nah, they'll not put it on. So I had to go, I knew the Celtic club would have it on. But that was only like across the square from where I was. But these pubs, and you were like, you know what you said? Celtic are dirt. You're like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? You know,
it's an eye-opener, like.
It's a letdown, isn't it? Like?
If I want to watch a Celtic match, Danny, I've got to go to the Irish club and watch it at home. Because any pub I go into, if there's an English game on, they don't put the Celtic game on.
Aye, my brother was down in Barnsley, and he had to go to, I bought a lad who knows house to watch the game. Because they just weren't putting on any pubs, Brendan, at all.
But see the wee bonus on that as well. The flip side of the coin is when you do go to one of the Celtic pubs, you know it's going to be a good crowd of Celtic fans because it's maybe the only place where everybody knows to go. So it's always going to be a good crack and a bit of atmosphere. Like, well, that's the flip side of it as well, I suppose.
But the one thing, I know we beat the drum about this, about the North American supporters, but for me, who I was out getting a pint with, they emigrated to Vancouver, when he started 7 years ago when he went there, he was going to the club for every game, and they were like, because they had like 8 hour time difference for us, some of the games could be like, you know, if it's 12, you're back to, what is it, 6 in the morning? 4 in the morning, aye, so it's 4 in the morning. Aye, so he would be going to every game to watch it. And he says there would be a fair crowd in. He says especially the Rangers games and stuff like that. But he says, see now, he says you'd be lucky if there's 10 in the club. You know, everybody watches it on streams in the house. Very, very few people. Right.
You don't have to be bevving at 4 in the morning, do you? That's the other thing.
Well, that's right. Then he had to curtail it, and it was only the Rangers games he had to drink it. But at the start, he says he was getting drunk every game. Staggered home, he took kids in and stuff like that. So I got another text from a mate that lives there in Northampton. He says, we just make them put the game on. And I can imagine that crowd went.
But it is kind of part of the charm as well, like having to go out and look for somewhere, you know what I mean? I kind of half enjoy that as well. You know what I mean? Like, even when you go abroad, you go anywhere, like I say, even going, like, if I'm in Dublin or something and I've got to, you know, I want to see the game and I've got to kind of search for somewhere, I kind of like the wee buzz about it because you don't know what you're going to get when you walk in somewhere. You know?
I used to cycle 100 miles just to see the games.
I used to cycle about, I'd say I cycled about 7 or 8 miles every week in Florida to go and see the game.
And then was a game Lucky Leprechaun or something?
No, it was in Fort Lauderdale. There was a place called the Harper and Paul. It used to be in a place called Dicey Rayleigh's, which is just around the corner from my house, which is great. But then they moved to the place called the Harper and Paul, and that was about 8 miles away. So I'd cycle. It would take me about, you know.
You never even had a bike.
You've no idea. I tell you what. Did I ever tell you the story about my cycling experience in Florida?
Oh, was this when you were the pizza delivery boy? Was it?
No. Everybody has. I swear to God, this is a God's honest truth story. I tell us that so many people. It's the weirdest thing ever happened to me. Anyway, Florida's mostly flat, right? There's not a lot of hills, so cycling in Florida is a piece of piss. And plus, it's 100 degrees. So when you're cycling, you're sweating. So it looks like you're really working out, regardless of where you go. You'd be going to the shop, you look like Lance Armstrong. You know what I mean? So one day, I'd cycle down by the beach, and the one part of the cycle would be quite difficult. It would be this big arched bridge, which is where all the cruise liners would come through, you know, down by the harbour. I swear to God, it's no word of a lie. I came to the bottom of the bridge one day when I was cycling, and these 2 girls were coming down. They were wearing bikinis, and they were seriously good-looking girls. So of course the ego in me pops up, and I go, right, I ain't gonna give it Yaldi here. So I bounce up on the bike, and it's, you know the slow motion side to side Lance Armstrong moves, right? So I'm going up this bridge, and I got within about 10 feet of them, and I swear to God, on my children's life, a bodybuilder on a unicycle sped past me. Swear to Christ, that's truth. He was bronze. He was wearing Speedos, and his fucking arms were the size of my legs, and he just doubled the speed I was going straight past me over the bridge on one wheel. I swear to God, I nearly fell off a fucking bridge. Well, listen, we've got loads of people here on Skype, so we're going to let a few of you go here. Brendan and Darren, can we just drop you off here, mate?
Yeah, not a problem, lads. All the best.
Brendan, mate, appreciate it.
All the best, Darren. Call back in again, mate.
Thanks, lads.
Darren, take it easy, mate. Cheers.
All right, all the best.
We'll get a pint with you in Quinn sometime, sure.
James.
Oh, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, man.
Well, we knocked him off for him.
I'll like him on because Nick can't help but talk to me.
No,
There's no any jokes, James. Give us a couple.
No, I know they know. I'm just going to say, Jason, did you see the tweet that's just been out about Celtic have accepted a bid for Everton for Samaras?
Oh,
7.5 million. Honestly, God, the guy called Agent Vince has come on. It's proper wind up.
aye, 7.5 million. Aye, I think it might be.
It's been retweeted by somebody called Paul Partick. I don't know if you've got him on your Twitter tweet thing. Anyway, so somebody, I
just swap him for Jelovic. Never mind the 7.5 million.
Aye, that's true. I think you would take that. Anyway, just to say, I missed a bit of the show there, but it's good to hear different people. And I didn't watch the Thistle game because I had a dodgy stream and it kept breaking up. I caught on Celtic TV the game yesterday, the second half, a good bit of the second half, and I thought we were absolutely brilliant. And as you were saying, it could have been about 8, losing for the goalie. Commons again, you run the show, Matthew, brilliant. Just delighted with it.
Your man Azagiri was good as well.
Oh, aye. As I said, I was just watching when Big Van Dijk was going forward, and you think he's going to low Savon, he just chips at the other guy and brings it down, you know, as he's going forward, and he's just absolutely walking it up here. It was a delight after all the criticism the teams had in the last few weeks, the results of 1-0s, then to come out and do that in the second half, absolutely brilliant. I'm delighted.
Good stuff, mate, good stuff.
Yeah,
and what about this joke?
No.
That was the joke. Samaras was 7.5 million.
Well, no, see the thing is about my jokes, even when I work, well, Jason knows where I work, it's all one-liners I do today when I work with, right? If somebody tells me a story joke, somebody's told me it anyway, but mostly it's my one-liners, and where I work, the kind of thing I work is, you wouldn't understand them and they wouldn't be clean enough.
There you go.
Even for yous, and that's saying something, but anyway, as I said, a quite new year for me, because obviously I wasn't going to a game, I was off, but I would have walked it, even just a matter of the weather, see if I had still in my section, I would have walked it that day, and I'd have walked it back for that game, you know what I mean, but anyway, it's just one of these things, but I just hope that's us going to be ruthless again and starting to enjoy our football as the team looked like in the second half.
Yep.
I reckon it is. I mean, I think probably as well as the weather and conditions get better, I think the football will probably get better. I think I think you come maybe around March, April when the weather's decent. I reckon. I mean, I reckon we'll just be playing practice matches by then. I mean, here I'm just going to give it the phone number again because anybody else wants to call in because we're all excited. We had a new caller tonight with Darren. Fair play to him for breaking the ice. HomeBhoys telephone number is 0141 356 7327, and I'm going to paste this into the chat room in case anybody. Harper, can you put it in the Twitter?
Sorry, I just put my headphones back on there. What you saying?
Can you put the phone number on the Twitter?
What's it?
It's 0141
041
0141.
041.
It's not 041, it's 0141.
01, nobody's going to call international, have they?
You don't know that. I mean,
I'm not putting 01.
Okay, 041 356 7. Jesus Christ. 356.
Hang on, wait a minute.
It's not fucking Sesame Street here.
Jesus Christ. Long distance to California.
041 356.
Hold on.
041.
I've lost it. 041 356 7327.
7327.
That's a Glasgow landline.
Seeing as I asked James for a wee one-liner, I'll give you a one-liner. Man United were once the Goliath of English football, and then they met David.
Hey! Somebody had a good one up there on Facebook yesterday. It's just a picture of Old Trafford that said it's so hard to win at Old Trafford these days that even Man United can't do it. So that was pretty good. Right.
Anyway, I was going to say, see, we've got James on here, so we've got Green Brigade, Green Brigade presence in the show. So, is this not a good time to talk about...
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Aye. Paul, what's your views on the esteemed journalist that decided to write a piece on Celtic, mate?
Well, I'm delighted because if Alec Thompson's going to set up some support network for people who have been abused, I know about 10 or 15 people that have had it for years, so, serious concerns and all that kind of thing. But no, I mean, it's, we all know this kind of stuff. I mean, I've got a golden rule with this kind of thing. I never take heed to any criticism of any type of supporters for somebody who doesn't pay to go into football matches. Yeah. Simple as that. Until you can, I mean, I could sit here and slag off Millwall fans now and say, oh, they're all scum, this, that, and next thing. I don't know. I didn't go and watch Millwall home and away. I didn't know what they're like. I certainly know what the media portrayal of them is. But I was at a game on Thursday at Easter Road. And some of the trouble, I've never seen trouble like that in a long time. Any Scottish football games, talking fighting on the streets, people being aggressive, all this kind of thing. No stuff that necessarily bothers me, but certainly stuff that, I think if Celtic had been involved in any shape or form, maybe there would have been a government inquiry. I saw two fans fighting on the pitch. I saw pyro, I saw smoke bombs, I saw all sorts of things. Again, the fans loved it. They created the atmosphere and all that kind of thing. And it was pretty funny watching two guys. I mean, to put these in the picture in case you never saw it, a Hearts fan ran on when they equalised, taunted the Hibs fans in the East, and the Shures couldn't catch them, so a Hibs fan ran on and started setting about them. And it was like, Keystone Cops type fighting. It wasn't there was no children harmed in the making of it, But and I went out and there was a big Rammy on Easter Road again and all that kind of thing, and I thought, here we go, this could be, a bit juicy in the press tomorrow. It was not a thing. So, to be honest, it's I wouldn't kind of write a blog about the state of war journalism in Syria because I don't know what it is, and so I don't think Alec Thompson should, take ill-informed nonsense and try and put it as a when he really has no absolute clue about Celtic. It's probably been to maybe 2 games in his life. So I really think that if you're a journalist and if you're going to put stuff as fact, try and make it an informed opinion. And the best way to do that would have been to consult people who actually go to the games.
Yeah, I mean, it just strikes, that blog just strikes of a guy who's returning to what was once a well-stocked trough for him. You know what I mean? And there was plenty of mileage in it for him, especially when the Huns were going down. But now the Huns aren't going down. Now that it's all kind of, it's all calm water over there, so to speak, in terms of what he can write about it. Now he's decided, okay, well, I'm going to go back here and stick my nose back in and create a bit of a ripple. And that's kind of what he's done. But I mean, anybody that reads, any Celtic fan that reads that goes to the games is going to go, this guy hasn't got the faintest clue what he's talking about. This mention of Celtic fans attacking stadiums like it's 1974, and like you say, comparing us to Millwall fans. I mean, I don't know any Millwall fans. I mean, I've seen films that portray Millwall fans as being thugs, and I've heard that they're running battles in the streets and stuff. But I mean, the way he writes it, you'd swear that the A&E departments were just completely just chock-a-block as soon as Celtic come to town.
What happened in 1974? Anyway, when did we get 1974 for? That has to go on a t-shirt. Somebody's going to make a t-shirt out of that. Whatever happened to the Lightly lads with a Celtic scarf on each and a chair in their hand, like, well, where the fuck did they get 1974 for? See the actual the headline. The story is completely misleading as well. The thing about Celtic being the new Millwall. At the end of the day, that was put in there because the blog is about attacking the Huddle blog and another blogger for what happened in there. Nobody has the slightest bit of interest in reading the headline about a blogger who was abused on a message board, so he's got to put in the stuff about Millwall to get people to read it. Yeah. And it was like even that bit at the end was so ridiculous. It was like that was just chucked in because, I put that in the title. I'm going to have to find something to justify why I put Millwall in the title. Because that's really what the blog was about. It was about a blogger. I mean, Joe, you are a real journalist. So it was about a blogger, and alright, wasn't it right? Some of the things that were said now, everybody knows that. But this is completely over the top, hyperbole. The whole blog just reeks of pish.
You said it perfectly, Harper. All it is this wee arena of hyperbole. That's all it is. I mean, that they'll all just kind of jump around and going, hey, let's all exchange, controversies, because let's keep the pot bubbling, because it keeps everybody's name in the fray, and it keeps, in fairness, we're sitting here talking about it, right? Now, in fairness, the only name we're going to mention is Alec Thompson, because in fairness, he's the guy we had respect for, especially when the Huns were going down. But see, now, you look at him and you go, I think we've seen your true colours here, Alec. I think you're obviously just a bit of an attention seeker. And the cool thing that I liked yesterday was the Huddle Board put up a clip of a YouTube video when they're interviewing Alec Thompson in Glasgow, and he admitted that he'd never been on any fans forums. And that's him last year. He's telling me all of a sudden he's taken an interest in the Huddle Board because some no-mark journalist or blogger or whatever on Twitter has got a couple of sour tweets. Come on, give us a break. Give us.
Have any of them ever seen the abuse I take on Celtic Mind on a nightly basis?
The thing about it, Joe, as well, is I reckon the reason he mentioned Millwall was because he thought, football, violence, Millwall, I'll just throw him in.
Aye.
And it's an easy stereotype. Millwall, they're all hooligans. That next thing. I mean, I've been to the New Den once. I've never seen any trouble at all. The ground that I've seen the most trouble at in British football by an absolute country mile is Old Trafford, and where every time I've seen a serious squad of thugs intent on harming other serious thugs for other teams. Violence that I've never seen in Scottish football, with the intensity and the kind of organisation of it. And we're not talking about daft young laddies here, we're talking about grown men. Man United rampaged through the second division in the 70s. It took over Toons with their massive support and all that kind of thing. So he's plucked Millwall and he's thought, you're as bad as Millwall because of this vessel. It's unrecognisable to anybody who actually goes to games.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, how much football does this guy go and watch?
No. See the thing about this guy is supposed to have respect because what he did with the Olco. I always say fair enough, this is what he's done, but you always knew he was a journalist.
Yeah.
He's bread and butter and he could turn, and I always had, hold on, this guy would turn us in a second, and he has, because we're the flavour of the month for the bashers now, as you know, but everybody having a go is, and he's jumped on the bandwagon like he did with him, and he's trying to kick us and trying to get us down, but we're not doing. And
See, to be fair, James, there was a story with them. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They were like a major football club in worldwide terms going out of the game. There isn't any story with us. It's just nonsense.
Did you see the one about the Erskine Supporter Club? About the Che Guevara on it, didn't get into the game on Sunday.
I heard about that.
It's political.
Seen that.
And yet the SNP and Labour bulldogs in the fucking pitch.
I know. So see while we're on this, right, we've got... I hope you don't mind. I want to read it.
Can I just say before you do it, I actually, believe it or not, I actually put the wrong fucking phone number there. So somebody actually...
could you say the 041? It's 0141.
No, 041's New York one from Next Boys, isn't it?
041 is actually the draw. It's a draw code.
Oh, that's what it is. It's my house.
Some kind of running and drawing is getting phone calls to go, hello. I said, what?
That's right. Sorry, Jason, I saw the button there, but it just shows you somebody's listening corrected me. Right numbers out there now, anyway.
So after me arguing with you and you telling me that I was wrong, I was right.
Huh?
So I was right then?
Yeah.
So I'm going to read out this post because we're on the websites and there's been a few guys for the Green Brigade and sort of toing and froing, and there's been a couple of things said, and people want to get to guys like James that don't go to home games now because they've had their season ticket took off them, so they got offered the chance to relocate or take a refund, and James just took a refund, and I think most of the guys who were banned have took the refund and they're not going back, so that's a revenue stream lost to Celtic, and some of them maybe no return. So there's been a bit of toing and froing and talk here and there between guys in the Green Brigade, and we deem to get a show dedicated to the Green Brigade to give them the chance, and James kind of included it himself, to give the guys a chance to put their point across. But I wouldn't mind, I'm going to read this post out because I thought it was pretty good, because I still firmly believe that the Celtic board are totally not doing enough to engage the support and try and bring a resolution here. Because even though people maybe think these are a gang of thugs and that, I think the punishment's got to fit the crime, and I don't think there's been many crimes being caused here, So it's just, and obviously with guys like Alec Thompson perpetuating the myth that we're evil support now, and I just find it preposterous. So I'll read this out, right? And it's people asking about, surely the board were speaking to Green Brigade and in great dialogue with them, right? So the guys reply, and the guys gave me the go-ahead to write this, okay, to read this out. So I was speaking to him there, and he says, aye, go ahead and read it out. If it gives good debate, all the better. So make up your own mind. He says, we've always worked with the club. What they're not willing to do is accept every request from the club. That's talking about the Green Brigade. They're not willing to accept every request from the club. So most of the problems stem from the club unwillingness to listen to the support. So then it says, poppy banners. For 2 years, every supporters group, the CSA, the Trust, the Affiliation, the ICSA and the GB, representative of tens of thousands of members opposed the poppy in the shirt. It was constantly on the agenda. Protests were had at the games the 2 previous seasons, and remember when Lowell toured the island and Ireland in the summer, a few months before said banners, it was brought up at every meeting. He says, at the one I was at, I asked him about it, saying it was divisive, and while it's still on the shirt, the support would be split, to which he agreed that it was divisive. So every thread in the issue on the internet always ends up a ding-dong, which showed how split the support were on the issue. So a few months later, the club went against all that and decided that the poppy would be put on the shirt. The week before, the GB had a protest. Midweek against Hearts, there were further support, which seemed like the majority of the away support. First songs being "You Can Shove Your Poppy Up Your," and the day itself that passed without anything. So, except some of the banners could have been worded better. However, I would also say the vast majority believed in our right to make that protest, and the gist of the banner spoke for a large percentage of our support. Law wanted us banned then. It says the following year the poppy was off the shirt, but the minute silence continued with absolutely no drama. So since then, it's been confrontation with Law constantly. And you have the time when lads were up for the Let's Go to War banner. Law in a meeting said he never thought Hun was sectarian and would get Celtic's lawyers onto it. What happened instead was when the case went to a trial, a Celtic employee was up giving evidence for the prosecution, saying the banner reminded him of Bradford. I mean, that was a fire for him that doesn't know. So no further submission from Celtic on the banner or the word Hun. Then the Offensive Behaviour at Football Act was brought forward. I mean, with supporters groups again, this time with Ronnie Hawthorne, Celtic's company lawyer at the time, and a lawyer from an English law firm that Celtic used. They were told that this bill had been brought forward to target the Celtic support for singing Irish political songs. They were told at the time this legislation would lead to issues and problems, the support getting a reputation. So Hawthorne's response was, what if it leads to them stopping? Talking about the songs. He was told that it won't happen. Celtic's submission to Parliament was against the bill, and then protest after protest happened. Since the Act have come in, there's been arrest after arrest, confrontation after confrontation, meeting after meeting with Celtic asking them to support the fans against criminalisation and stand against the criminalisation of our support. Not a whimper from Celtic, and people have since found out that they were working behind the scenes supporting the bill. So make up with that if you will. Mm-hmm. So out with all that, you have the petty harassment every week, videoed everywhere, the Green Brigade go, vast amounts of police there to intimidate, names being dropped into conversations, reporters being asked where they stay in the pretext that have done something a few weeks ago, case after case being dropped, dawn raids, 16-year-olds getting held in remand over Christmas for singing a song, members of the Green Brigade get denied taxi licences, etc., and you still don't hear a whimper from Celtic or Peter Law. Then you have Rangers and their death. No need to go over that, it's all out there, but again, not a whimper. I don't know whether Celtic should have said then, but again, not a whimper. So no wonder we've quite a few angry, some young, some old, some male, some female, but all Tims who are completely peed off with those running the club. And then that leads to Motherwell when up to 100 chairs were broke. He says, nobody was more annoyed than me, this is the Green Brigade guy, with what happened. I'd put a lot of effort into Fans Against Criminalisation from day one when it didn't have a name, and I knew that night we gave those who hate us a big bat to beat us with. However, I never realised it was going to lead to Law using the rope he boasted about 1 year previously to hang us. He seemed to find his voice that week whilst briefing his chosen comrades in the mainstream media. I'm not trying to justify what happened that night, however, this idea that all seats or even a large minority were broken deliberately is a nonsense. One whole row collapsed when folk were standing on it. if it was a group of angry young men on the rampage, the seats wouldn't have been getting handed very nicely down to the stewards to make a nice wee pile at the front. They would have been chucked at them. I'll say again, I'm not trying to justify what happened, but the events didn't justify the subsequent action. 120 folk being banned. Of that 120, only 80 to 90 came from the GB section at Parkhead. Of that 80 to 90, how many were actually where the damage happened? He says 5 off my bus weren't, and I was surrounded in the stairs by quite a few others who were also nowhere near it, but had tickets with the 120. So rather than get the facts, Lowell decided this was his opportunity to get rid of the GB in the section. So why not take proportionate disciplinary action against those who deliberately broke seats, something the GB agree with and have been asking for a long time, rather than gung-ho drama after every incident. Why do our dealings through the mainstream media rather than the supporters liaison officer who was employed for this exact type of incident? So in short, our club only seems to find their voice when it's to attack us. They only ever want to listen when it suits their agenda, and that type of relationship never works and is now completely broke down. It says not just with the GB though, but with a large percentage of our support. So there you go. So that's a guy for the Green Brigade who is a decent poster on the website that I post on, and James obviously know the boy personally, and I thought it was worth reading out because the guys are sort of reaching their wits' end. They're getting banned for Selleck Park, something they've loved doing, and James is banned for Selleck Park or whatever, and you didn't get your seat renewed or you didn't want to relocate. And I think it's something needs done. So we've got John Paul Taylor as a supporters liaison officer, so we need to see action happening shortly because I think something needs to get done here.
But I mean, John Paul Taylor must be inundated with people contacting him now, and it seems to me like he's just not being listened to either. And it doesn't seem like there's going to be much change. I mean, there was rumours this week about Celtic meeting the Green Brigade, but I believe that's pish now.
It's pish.
It's rubbish.
Rubbish.
So, there you go. I mean, like, no progress, nothing, no dialogue, nothing. So what you have there is John Paul Taylor in the firing line, taking the majority of the flak, and there's like his hands are tied unless somebody else at the top does something. You know, and it's...
See, the thing here is as well, right? Say there's 120 get banned, so 100 of them aren't getting back. I know for a fact some of these 100 never miss a game home or away and spend thousands of pounds going everywhere to follow Celtic. Some of these guys are not going back. You know, so that's a revenue stream that Celtic are losing. So if they don't go back, say a couple of their mates that went to the games with them, say they decide, well, I'm not going to go back either. And then the domino effect starts, and Celtic need to be really, really careful here how they deal with this, or the lack of dealing with it.
But
I don't know, Paul, I'd like to hear your views, because you're pretty close with John Paul and you've got your ear at the ground, a lot of this stuff. So, I know you mentioned last week that something's going to get done and you think things are happening behind the scenes. So, what chance is there of Celtic trying to make the peace here with the guys that they've banned and moved away, or is the game up for the Green Brigade? Is that finished?
Well, I don't think the game's up, but I think I talked last week when I talked about the chain of command at Celtic. So John Paul Taylor, who's the closest to the supporters, is an officer, and he's probably the one closest to the supporter mentality. And then above him, you only have Peter Lawwell, who's, I mean, I would argue, as distant now for the supporters as he's ever been, primarily since John Paul actually took on that role. Then, of course, above him you have Dermot Desmond, and you kind of wonder how interested is Dermot Desmond in any of this, if indeed is at all, you know? Right. And so, therefore, that's where the disconnect is. You then have people like Ronnie Hawthorne and Jamie Church, who are both ex-police officers, and clearly are coming from one angle of this. You know, I think it's interesting that, you know, a lot of people missed the story with Ronnie Hawthorne and kind of laughed at him for phoning up for Ness in St Johnston. Don't for a second think that Ronnie Hawthorne made a mistake there. He meant to phone Inverness. Let's get that clear right now. Second of all, I mean, I find that, I mean, you know, I've seen schemes recently where it's broken, was it Fir Park, and things like that, and it's never been reported. And I think what that poster said about Lowell putting his media lapdogs on the case after Moyle was 100% true. The first one of them was Chip Young. Chip Young, his own first name tells you Lowell can phone him anytime he wants, and he was the first one that brought that to the attention of the wider public. So there was clearly dialogue in there. Now, How you can then justify banning 120 people for what happened there is just ridiculous. But as the poster says, there is so much evidence that it just is a case of we just have to get rid of them, and that's all that matters. And I didn't see what the point is. I really didn't see what the point is. I mean, I read people saying that people were being driven away by the Green Brigade. I mean, who are these people that are being driven away by the Green Brigade? I don't know who they are. I've never met any of them. People that only appear on social media, stuff like that. So, what I can say is that John Paul Taylor is working night and day to get this resolved and to get everybody round the table. Now, that's not going to be easy because, as I said last week, he is a man alone. He has not got a secretary, a PA, nothing like that. He has to deal with every single thing going on and gets absolute vitriolic abuse almost every day for no whole manner of different things. But he can only do so much. This, to me, it has to come from Peter Lawwell. And Peter Lawwell, and I've said to John Paul Taylor time and again, I says, you convince me that man has the best interest of the support at heart. Not even just the Green Brigade, but the ones that are fucking getting pissed on every single week by the police and the stewards. And then we get soaking when it's raining and we're getting overcharged and we're getting all this. And he said, no, he definitely has. I said, well, he has to come out and show it. And that has to be the... I mean, if I was a member of the Green Brigade, and especially after the Fir Park thing, I wouldn't trust Peter Lawwell as far as I could throw him. And so that's due to Peter Lawwell. He has to rebuild that trust.
I think that's got to get taken right out of John Paul Taylor's hands. This far too big for one man there. It has got to come to Lawwell or somewhere in that group. Because Johnny, hello,
Johnny, you watching Coronation Street?
Yeah. What you listening to? Are you listening to EastEnders or what?
No, I'm just going out the living room. I didn't think I was on. Alright, how you doing?
1 second, James, mate, can we drop you off here?
Of course you can.
Just because I'm getting a bit of lag here on the outside.
No problem, on you go.
It's just pleasure up as always, mate.
Yes, James.
Hey, James, speak to you there, mate.
Johnny.
Yeah, how you doing, guys?
Harper, you run a roll there, what are you talking about?
What?
You run a roll there, talking about something.
And I'm just saying, I think what Paul's saying, this has got to come above John Paul Taylor. John Paul Taylor's not just to deal with this. The Green Brigades, this has become far too big for John Paul Taylor, in my opinion. It's got to come from somebody else inside the club.
But I mean,
this going through John Paul Taylor, but the Green Brigades not going to work at all.
Have we gone too far though? Has the likes of Law gone too far to turn around now? And, I mean, is it a case of a saving face now for someone like him?
Well, it doesn't matter. But
it doesn't matter.
It's got to come through. It's got to go through Peter Lawwell.
Absolutely. But I'm saying, I mean, like one of the obstacles may just be that he's saying, "Well, I've gone too far down this road. If I turn around now, maybe that's a sign of weakness." Because people in those kind of positions of power, it's very difficult for them not to let their ego to get away with them. Not that I'm saying Peter Lawwell.
I don't think so, Joe. Because as Jason's talking about people leaving, I'm not saying they're leaving in their droves, but it can have a domino effect, and people leaving. At the end of the day, he's just there representing Dermot Desmond and the shareholders, whatever, and they've got to do what's best for the club. For a financial point of view as well, so that the ego thing, I don't think will come into it at all. It'll come down to other factors.
I don't know. I reckon the ego thing is definitely prevalent here, Harper. But what I will say is,
I don't think he's doing the bidding his masters with.
Sorry.
You don't think he's doing the bidding of his masters?
I think he's given a fairly long leash to do what he pleases sometimes.
I don't think Dermot Desmond will have his ear to the ground now, it'll be down to Peter Law, I don't know. But the thing is, for me, is, see no matter how much he hacks off the Green Brigade or whatever, see as long as they promise to sort everything and like they get their seats back, the Green Brigade will all come back to it again, because that's what we do. That's when you go and watch Celtic. You're not going to be stubborn. I'm not going back. That's a big part of everybody's life.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Though I think the thing that will eventually preempt something happening is people no renewing season tickets, and the people leaving there in the Green Brigade, people that you're talking about who spend thousands every year in Celtic, who're not going back. We mentioned Eddie the other week there. It's people like that should be a wake up call to them, and it has got the potential to get a lot worse. I think that's what eventually will no matter what the ego is, because shareholders will come and say, well, we've got to get bums and seats here. We've got to find people back.
But I mean, also there's the issue of, I mean, say for instance, like, say Lowell said tomorrow, okay, the Green Brigade can come back. Sorry about that. Do you think the Green Brigade are going to like just come back and go, thanks very much, and dance around and sing like normal? No, they're going to make a point.
They're what?
They're going to make a point when they come into the stadium. They're going to have something to say about how they've been treated.
No, I don't think they would.
You don't think so?
No, I think if Lowell just comes in and says, I'm sorry, right, we need to work together now, I don't think they're going to make a point. I think they'll just want to go and watch Celtic.
I don't know.
I think it's the one industry in the world that can treat you like utter shite and you'll still go back like a lemming.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think they would come back, just one personal point of view, but it wouldn't just be a case of they come back and it stops there. It has to be ongoing dialogue, because there's obviously a lot of things to get sorted out. There's, Jason, you said it loads of times about transparency. We need the club to just actually come out and say, look, this is the way it is, this is the way we're looking at it, this is what's right, this is what's wrong. Doing this fanning about and banning people after the fact and all that. And that's the biggest thing, the communication is, Jason, you brought up loads of that. It's the one thing that we disagree on loads of things, but that is the one thing that I'm completely 100% there with. Yep.
So, Johnny, what's your view? Did you hear that letter sort of read out, mate?
Aye, that's why I called in. I'm 100% behind the Green Brigade.
You were supposed to say no, we need to do it again.
Aye, well, I usually disagree with him, so... No, I've not been back at Celtic Park since this happened. I think the last time I was at Celtic Park was the AC Milan game. Was it AC Milan we played?
Right.
Champions League. I'm just... I'm not happy with the way the boys were treated. And we've spoken about this before, Jason, last season, maybe the season before. It's, I mean, what actually are these guys doing wrong?
Yeah,
I mean,
you've still been going to every away game, haven't you?
I've been going to away games, I'm just not happy with what's happening at Celtic Park. The living wage thing and then all this carry on. And then you see the highlights of the Motherwell game the other night on the television. Celtic have paid them seemingly for the seats and they're still all lying broke. I mean, there's loads of things that I'm just not happy about it. With Celtic Park, you know. I mean, what is it? I know a couple of these boys. I mean, I've said this before. They're angels compared to us when we went to football.
Oh, no.
Years ago. I mean, it's not on. I mean, if he can turn around and ban all the guys, that's dear me. I tweeted John Paul Taylor and I says to him, listen, I've got a Green Brigade hat and a Green Brigade scarf. Can I have a refund? But he never get back to me. I mean, that's the thing. If I go to the game with that hat and scarf, am I got to get refused entry? My boy's he's 14. He's been searched. I mean, come on. And at Celtic Park, I mean, I give away the tickets. I've not been. I've been to the away games, but I've not been at Celtic Park until we get something sorted. I mean, surely to God they can get around the table as you have been saying and sort something out, because the boys will come back, because I know for a fact that they still travel to the games but they don't go.
Johnny, I just wonder how many is in the same boat as you at the minute, because I was actually quite surprised to hear you saying that, like, knowing how many games you go to in that, and I just wonder how many there is out there thinking along the same lines at the minute. Like.
Well, I know at our club, and we run a 70-seater, if you can look, and there's only been 20 on it recently, albeit it's Christmas and that usually does happen. But the boys have been whipping into me, kidding me on that I'm going to go and see the Hibs or go down to Goodison Park every now and again, laughing and all the rest of it. But I'm deadly serious. I mean, I don't think I'm solidarity with the Green Brigade as it stands. For the life of me, I just can't see what these boys are doing wrong.
Here's a tweet from Budgie1888. He says, I'm the same as your man. Me and my 8-year-old daughter haven't been back from Milan game. Breaking my heart, but totally disgusted.
It is. I'm just hoping they can get it sorted out, because it's hard. I mean, when you get up on a Saturday morning and the Celtic are here, I mean, it's very, very rarely I turn around and say, I'm not going the other day. In fact, I've never done it until, I think it would have been Hibs the first one I would have missed. Or Hearts, I'm not sure. But no, I'm just no. I mean, I'm not happy. I mean, these boys are not going about hitting guys out of the head with bottles. They're no causing major damage.
I think that's the crux of the matter. matter, Johnny? What is their crime? You know, it's like it's you know. See the thing is obviously see the banner, right? See the Bobby Sands banner. No, but listen. Do you know? I don't think the vast majority of people actually got what they tried to say.
No,
they weren't praising Bobby Sands.
Oh, I know exactly.
You know, it was just looking at just compare the two of them and how much William Wallace is lauded as a figure in Scotland, a figure that people look up to, but Bobby Sands is demonised as some sort of devil. When effectively, when you look at them in a context, both of them are very similar in their views to life.
but that's the red flag. People go like, oh, all they see is Bobby Sands' face, and they go, oh, you can't do that. You know what I mean? You can't do that.
But the people lost what they were trying to tell them.
That's because they don't want to know. Because that would take away from their reason to be offended. And like we've said many times in this show, some people just love to be offended. You know what I mean? And being offended, as we've said millions of times, is a subjective thing. What offends you may not offend me. And in fairness, I find it weird that people are offended anyway. If you're offended, so I don't care. Be offended. Nothing wrong with you. You know what I mean? You're not going to get sick. You don't have to go to the hospital. You're just going to wake up tomorrow morning. You know?
Do you know the thing? Me, seeing simplistic terms, I don't know about you, Paul, and whatever. I just think it's bigots that are offended. And see Celtic. I think Celtic have got quite a lot of bigots support us, and not in the sense that you would, you would term a bigot. It's people that are they're so pro the board and pro doing the right thing because they think it's right and just, and it's beneath us to act the way these young kids were acting. And I'm like, what's wrong with yous?
Jason, exactly. I know. Paul, I think I tweeted you the other day, and that's the kind of point I was trying to get. There's a lot of Celtic supporters, the new big business guys and all that, and there's a lot of them. There'll be thousands of them that run companies and that never, ever, through the 80s and that, we had people like that supporting Celtic. They're there now, and they're there to stay. You probably know some of them that will stand by the Green Brigade and the living wage and all the rest of it, but deep down, they don't. If you know what I mean.
Is that just society in general, Johnny? Or is it like I think what we need to realise is, well, I realise it, that Celtic is a broad church, and we'll have Tory supporters, we'll have communist supporters, we'll have supporters for every walk of life. Yeah. But we need to realise we should unite under the one flag that Celtic is a club that's welcoming to all. But it seems to me that if you're a bit young and radical and you're a bit like left wing, that you're no welcome any longer.
What's the thing? I mean, Celtic's not a place Celtic isn't a thing you can approach with a narrow mind.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Jason, when you talked about some of your supporters. I mean, I remember I was at Croke Park in August, and the tour guide was talking about Hill 16, which people didn't know was built for the rubble of 1916. Yep. The tour guide turned around to me and he says, something? He says, because where are you from, what are you doing here, blah, blah. He says, the GAA and Celtic have kept the nationalist identity of Ireland going for 100 and odd years. My heart leapt out my chest when he said that. Right. I know, there are people who would recoil at that very notion. And I find that incredible. I mean, maybe I'm naive, but when I was brought up watching Celtic, everybody I know sang rebel songs, and everybody I know was sympathetic towards the cause of Irish freedom and all that kind of thing. And everybody, as Johnny said, everybody I know was practically working class. I know. I mean, that is the bottom line. The most of them are working class. That has definitely changed. There's no doubt about that. But I do not understand how you'll go for there. Any class you want, you're all welcome at Celtic Park. But I don't know how no that extends to just demonising people. Did people forget when they were angry young men? You know what I mean? And thought they could change the world and, do this and that. I mean, we spoke about it for years. We talked about things that were told this and told that. And we've said it ourselves, we're not going to be hypocrites here. If we were on 1920 and we're getting told not to do this and not to do that, we'd probably go and do it. Yeah, that's the best way. You get somebody.
See when we were young. See when you were going on the bus going to Aberdeen the away game. See if somebody had forgot the rebel tape. It was like a death in the family. Do you know what I mean? And it's like
meet these people, Jason. Because I've never met anybody in real life that comes out with all this pish. Do you know what I mean? There's not one person in our supporters club here, and they didn't follow all the ins and outs online. I've said that before. But there's none of them would be this sort of fourth line, whiter than white, all that crap, like, no. This greatest support in the world that's been a monkey on her back, in my opinion.
Is there a certain element in the higher echelons of Celtic Football Club that maybe thinks that if they did come out and support the Green Brigade, it kind of gets somewhat behind these type of supporters? You know what I mean? In terms of maybe the more vocal, the more social supporter, that might affect their lives away from football, maybe their business contacts, their business networks. Is that possible? You know what I mean?
Exactly right.
So I mean,
hit the nail on the head, Joe.
It's still these fucking politicians. Member lords and all this crap.
And you mentioned Paul going to Croke Park and having the tour guide walk. Mentioned that at Celtic. I remember getting a tour of the new camp, and the tour guide telling us. I asked him. I said, "Listen, I'm very blind to." I was quite young at the time. I said, "I'm very blind as to what the ethos is behind this club and the division between Real Madrid and Barcelona." And the guy stood there and he was fucking welling up, and he started going, "Franco, that fucking bastard." This is the tour guide talking to all these young kids, giving this real fucking impassioned socialist speech about why Franco was a bastard and why Real Madrid are scum, and this is a fucking guy leading you around the stadium. You know what I mean? And he was given the right to say these things because that's what they believe in. You know, from top to bottom, I assume. Back then it was anyway.
One of the things that drives me nuts, Joe, is the fact that it seems to be there's this constant thing for the top echelons of Celtic to Green Brigade saying you have to do this, you can't do that, this questioning every single thing they do and pointing out every inadequacy and pointing out every reason why they should ban her. Can you imagine if any one of us here now went to an EGM and stood in front of the PLC board and says, right, you earn 50 grand a year for us, can you tell us what investment you brought to the club? Can you tell us what you've actually done to earn that? They would be going mental. And so all these faceless Brian Wilsons and Tom Allisons and Bankier and all that, they can earn their 50 grand and they can ruin people's life with decisions and make decisions that we find utterly baffling. But God forbid you question on it, you know? And that's not democracy. You know what I mean? We're talking about being a broad church. Everybody at Celtic Park, you know, we're all going to have different opinions with different things. But the colour of your shirt and the colour of your scarf should give you a bit of leeway with your fellow supporter. It certainly has for me in the past, you know, whereas I've been involved in situations where I've gave Celtic supporters leeway because they were Celtic supporters. But there's some people who just want to just immediately tar everybody as a hooligan, thug, underclass. I tell you, I'm a proud member of underclass. I've been fucking working class my whole life. And I'm not going to run for that. I'm certainly not going to get posh boys like Thompson telling me what I can and can't do at football games. And I'm sure that's exactly what Green Brigade feel about Peter Lawwell.
Yeah. I'm sure that's what Harry the dog and the F Troop at Millwall think him as well.
And just another wee thing about the game yesterday, guys. I don't know if you have probably spoke about the game at Love Street. I thought it was I thought Celtic were brilliant from start to finish. There's a lot of guys round about me saying, "Oh, this is garbage, I'm away home," in the first half and that.
That to me was better than the Hearts and Motherwell. I know Harper and that said they didn't agree.
I thought it was great. But no, it was missing yesterday. Was the Green Brigade? I don't know if you were there, Paul.
I was, aye.
And in the first half you missed, there were no singing or atmosphere whatsoever, a wee bit in the second half, but that was missing in the first half of that game yesterday, which was a cracking performance for Celtic. And you do miss it at the games. Definitely.
Yeah. But the other thing about that, John, is that we have to. It's not just about the Green Brigade for me. We have to encourage all younger people to get involved. It's harder and harder for younger people. We take care of really young people. We take care of pensioners. And we even take care of students. But we need to be taking care of the 18 to 25-year-old types who are at that age where, 13, 14, they're all dedicated to football and that sort of thing. Then all of a sudden, pubs come on the horizon, all that kind of thing. It's harder and harder. And they're getting asked to pay 300, 400, 500 quid for a season ticket. They're the people that will generate your atmosphere.
Yeah.
You just put them on, we have a family section in Lisbon Lions Upper. Say you had one in the Lisbon Lions Lower. Say you had one in the Lisbon Lions Upper that was for 18 to 25-year-olds. You wouldn't need to tell them to sing. They would dare. They would generate a fantastic atmosphere, and it would be a fuck's sake better than having a big banner over the seats and even trying to sell them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We're getting a phone.
The only problem is guys like Johnny went in there because you think you're younger than your mate.
Well, I would have had a blast at the singing yesterday, but the drive, Big Disco Days was 8 and 8 and 4, so I get the short straw.
Right, there you go. I couldn't go at the game, I was at Mass, so I missed the first 5 minutes, father duties. I was saying mass, but I had to take my kids.
Father duties.
We've been joined by the Parrot.
How's it going, mate? Alright, how's it going?
Listen, guys, I'll move on, right? I'll let you carry on. I just had a wee bit of a tip my shoulder about the Green Brigade situation. Alright?
No problem, Johnny.
Cheers,
Catch you soon, guys. All the best. Cheers.
Take it easy, Johnny. Look, mate. You've been joined by the Parrot. It's about to get heated.
No, here, listen, it's a new me. I'm having nothing to do with nothing. I'm just phoning up to apologise to Big Davey after I ripped a piss at him last week about his bet. Chris Commons walloped the ball off my napper yesterday behind the goal.
It's quite hard for us to get fair.
Bangura couldn't match my fucking head, but there you go. I was like, I had 5-0 and all in my line. I took a mad bet. I don't bet as you know much. I mean, 33 to 1. £2 on it. I said, that'll cover the Mellow Birds for the rest of the season. Half time, nothing each. I went, I'm getting absolutely nothing here. And the boy I was with Guinea, one of the boys after the bus, he had 3-0. And we went, I better so end up 4-0. And so it was. But no, I'm going to be positive. It was good. I made the first half of the official game. I walked out. It was cash and carry, but it was good seeing Celtic opening up the perch to all the punters that don't usually get to the games. It was nice to have fans sitting round me instead of it being empty, sort of thing, you know. But support for the Millwall fans. I worked in a boat once, but wee Uncle Albert Tailfeet, it's just a quick call. I was on a wee training ship, which was like an old minesweeper, and I pulled up in what is now the heartland of the Docklands, the financial district. Yeah. It's about 1989 it was, and I was in the ropes forward tying it up, and it was rubble then, you know, and these 6 little lads come up there in Millwall strips and their BMXs, and they went, "Where are you from?" Me, I went, "Oh, I'm from Glasgow." I says, "My family live in North London." And they went, "What team do you support?" And I went, "Celtic." And they went, "Nah, you're alright then." And I sort of looked and I went aft to get a cup of tea. My 2 mates were Liverpool season ticket holders walked forward. And they says, "Well, where are you from, lads?" I went, "Oh, we're Scousers." They're like, "Yeah, Scouse cunts," and started lobbing bricks at them for 30 minutes, sort of thing, you know. So no, they're alright in my books. But no, it's been a good wee show tonight. Reference, it's just the transfer window. I'm quite happy with what I've got, lads. I know. I thought
you were coming up with a story.
Your last 35 of the bit the dust. But when you go, mate,
no, I told you, Bangura's staying in the south side in a council flat. I told you that, didn't I?
Nice, Sheriff.
I don't think you did. You tell us a couple of people were signing.
I was on.
Your brother, is it?
No, my brother's absolutely disgusted with it. Obviously, Pope Paul's a Hackney driver. My mate James, who drives the privates, picked the sheriff up for the Apple shop. And took him south of the river, and they went, "Where are we going?" Blah blah blah. And he's staying with his mate who's staying in a council flat. He didn't get digs sorted out for coming home or coming back to Glasgow. And he was saying to James the fact that I said in the Celtic Dream show, he says, if he'd have scored against Celtic in the European game, he wouldn't have been back. He said he's come back. He said the fans have been great. He's met and the club and the staff have been superb, so he's hoping to get his seat down. But whether or no he's just saying that to my mate, and I don't know if Paul knows anything, if he's maybe wanting to get a pie off and sneak away again, sort of thing. But he's cutting about the suicide and salmon pink Miami Vice style Jack. I've got photographic evidence. He was in my mate's taxi, and I phoned through Paul, and it was his birthday, spookily enough. I said, "The sheriff's cutting about the suicide in a taxi," and he went, "A Hackney," and he went, "Not," and he went, "Ah, bastard, I've supported him for 2 years and he's using pirate taxis."
You need to get yourself in a white suit to be rocking around with the Parrot and Tubbs.
So Southside, we're welcome to all, we'll wake up all. Now the sheriff's over here, I'm blessed. But no, it's just what you were saying about the transfer rumours. I'm quite happy with what we've got. I'd rather see the young lads getting their tax sheets and that. I don't think we'll get much up front. I definitely don't, but and don't get me wrong, I'm not a big fan of Charlie Mulgrew. I like him at the back, but we just seem to have a lot of sideway players at the moment. There's no much directness going forward, so I'd rather keep the money for the summer, because the clubs just seem to have a wee bit tongue-in-cheek. We hear all these celebrity bloggers and that saying that the clubs get a strategy. It would be madness for us to start shopping in the EPL. And as I say, Fletcher's a great player. Injury-wise, for me, we'd probably let Van Hessel, you know, he'd get a couple of games and then he'd go down with the size of him and probably out again. But I'd rather wait to the summer and maybe get players or arrange to get players just now, spend a wee bit of money and get them signed up in pre-contracts in 6 months. That's probably going to happen to Ledley and Samaras if they don't move on.
Yeah, I think Samaras will go myself, mate. I don't know. What do you think, Parrot? Do you think he'll go?
Do you know what? I think, as I've said before, I think he was. I'm so glad he had the season he had last year, and he if he leaves he's left his way. What a season he had the Champions League. We played the season last year in the Champions League games. I think he's been found out. European football, we know, is quite cruel, and everybody's looked at Celtic now. We've not got many tricks. Sammy was last year's trick. As Paul said earlier, we sort of stumbled through Europe this year. We were never going to get far. We're seeing better teams like Napoli getting knocked out with the investment they've done. We've got to be a wee bit realistic, but I would hate to see the money that's been squirreled away, squandered. I mean, I've just got visions of the day when Stuart Slater, etc., were all rolled out as if, look at the money we're spending, and none of these signings, him and Andy Payton, didn't work out. There's enough youth there to get us going to the end of the season.
Aye, I kind of agree, mate.
I also this nonsense about having a strategy. I mean, I was thinking about it last week. Whatever happened to the days when the transfer window opened and people signed players?
I know.
And now we all know that our deals, if there's any got to be done, they'll be done in the last 48 hours of the window when maximum value is there. You know what I mean? That's the way it works. It's as simple as that. And the bean counters are just got to look at it and say, oh well, X amount. I mean, we're talking about this kind of support that we didn't recognise. I mean, these are the type of supporters who we qualify for the Champions League and say the first thing they say is, "Oh, we've made 25 million quid." You say, "Well, what about the games? You know, what about the talent? What about the atmosphere, or that kind of thing?" And that's what it's all about. I mean, one thing I think you cannot do in football is this: you cannot buy a hero. A hero has to earn it. You know, you can't. There's not a player in the world you say, right, realistically, that we could buy that becomes an instant hero. We tried it with Robbie Keane, Roy Keane, all these kind of things. It doesn't happen. They have to earn their stripes in the colours that they're playing in, and then you develop them. And to me, as the parrot says, you know, you do that with younger players. And you know, Henrik Larsson probably the year after his leg break to actually become a god at Celtic Park. You know what I mean? It's something you earn, and that's the kind of strategy that we need to be looking for. If you know, we've got guys on the bench here like Rogic, never going to get a game. I mean, just get rid of them, you know what I mean, and move the bench up for other players, because what I've always said is the one thing that we could really push Sevco back years is if we have 5 or 6 for the youth team ready to step in, you know, and we'll be able to do that because we've been able to blood them, you know, with very little challenge in the league, and that's something we really need to be doing, you know.
I think, no, Paul, you look at me, and I know in the last few weeks, I mean, people, myself included, like maybe 3-4 weeks ago, I was saying, oh, look at what Jackie McMahon's doing at Dundee United today, with to a lesser extent that Knuckle Dagger's doing at Aberdeen. And these guys are playing youth football, and they're giving young kids a chance to say, my God, that boy's 4 years older than me, he's playing for the first team. And I know Jack, I mean, he did a great pull back yesterday for Twitch, but it was so refreshing to see a bunch of young lads, and it's crucial, if they teams can just stay together for a year or 18 months, or maybe be sold and loaned back, and kept on, Scottish football will never be better. We look at the sold out game between Aberdeen and Dundee United, obviously the Edinburgh Derby, the old Panda Classic sort of thing. But for me, for Celtic, you know, put the young lads on and people will go and see them, you know. I mean, for my eternal shame, one of my first books, I had a fucking Jerry Craney posted up because it was a local lad playing for your local team. That's what we want to see. But this squandering of money and all these projects, it was just before I go, I mean, how much control how does it work, Paul? I mean, does John Parks, Celtic needs, say, 5 players, does John Parks say to Neil, did him and Neil Lennon get mellow birds that get on say, him, and does it go to Peter Lawwell and they says, no, you're not getting him, you have to go for him? It's baffling because for all the great players...
That's pretty much spot on, I think. You know, I think we're talking about, to me, it's a phony war goes on, right? Lennon comes out and says, yes, of course we can spend 6 million quid. That puts all the pressure on Lawwell, because they say, well, you wouldn't want to spend it. Similarly, he said, well, Peter's talking to Joe's representatives, Peter's talking to Samaras, it's all doing to Lawwell. The fact that 3 players that we signed for decent money are sitting on the bench tells you all you need to know. You know what I mean? Did Neil Lennon actually sign any players? I very much doubt it. Did he object to them coming? Probably no. But I'll tell you, you talk about the sheriff there. The sheriff turned up at Celtic Park, but Neil Lennon never knew a thing about that. That's just the kind of way it works these days. I mean, it's happening at Tottenham, it's happening at all sorts of clubs, you know, and so, no strategy I'm overjoyed with, but unfortunately that's how it works.
I think added to that, Paul, it shows it's, rightly or wrongly, it shows its way that he doesn't play them. Because see if he signed them, rightly or wrongly, if the guy wasn't cutting the mustard, they would still get the 7, 8 games, 9 games, because they'd be like, well, I put my faith in you and I'm going to prove to people that you can do it, and they're there signing. But when you're getting people thrown at you further, you're going to be like, well, I never signed him, man. I think that guy's better than him.
Aye, I mean, he's obviously got, say Park and what I need, a left back, a striker, and they'll say, well, you've got him, and him. That's the list right there and then, you throw up Boric to Ajax, people like that, and then he might go and watch them. But if you remember when we signed Bangura, Lennon was actually in Portugal watching another player, Diarra. Yeah, right. And then he came back and says, oh, well, he looks good and all that, and then PLO come out and says, oh, we can't get a work permit, we've signed this guy instead. And it was like, that was that. So
we couldn't get you coach, so here's Pepsi.
Exactly. And I'm not saying that's happened to all the signings. Clearly, Lennon signed Gary Hooper. He knew him first time in the Championship. He signed Chris Commons. He signed Kelvin Wilson. These were players that he knew. So, it's John Park. I think if you're going to give him credit for good signings, picking out as a Gary, people out for the middle of nowhere, whatever, then you have to say that the guy's clearly got a blind spot when it comes to strikers, because he's signed about 10 and most of them have been absolutely useless.
Maybe, but I just think the market we're operating in as well, we're going to get, it's a 1 in 4 success rate.
I think to see that lad, I watched the Blackburn game, to see that lad Rhodes sitting on the bench at the old chicken farm or Milan, and you're like, you get him for a wee song, sneak in and get him. We see, you look at the pressure that Moyes is under, but the boy Partick, I'd play him every game. For me, the best striker we had last year, I believe when Gary Hooper was new, was young Tony Watt. When he came on, there was something electric. He was a local lad, and whatever happens, hopefully he'll come back stronger. But I'm just praying to God that for once in my life that we don't go bananas and buy players, because everybody knows me. We look at Moyes sitting at Man United. Spurs, I think, are sitting looking at the two Inter Milan strikers who are both 30-year-old. For us to go to the EPL, it's going to be players at the later stage of their careers. They're going to come up, and there's going to be, like when Martin O'Neill left us, we're going to have guys like Chris Sutton and John Hartson with no really sell-on value. The clubs, and everybody, you're looking at guys, what a dream that big centre-half is to watch, innit? My only negativity, I would say, is, though, for me, and I don't know much about the game, but to be playing Partick Thistle at Celtic Park and my centre-half get man of the match, if that doesn't give folk alarm bells, it's time to chuck it.
Well, I think that's the lack of spearhead, and especially home games, because we just know people are going to sit in and play it safe and creep up the park and all that kind of thing. And whereas, I think you talked about Jackie and the boy McKinnon. One of the things I give Jackie credit for is they lost 3 games on the bounce, and he never once came out and criticised any young players, never dropped any of them, kept them playing. They've come back yesterday, that might turn the season back round again. That is crucial, How often do we talk about on the show, laddies go out younger, 13, 14, 15-year-old, scared to make mistakes, They shouldn't be scared to make mistakes. They should be able to try and express themselves and trying to, and that has to be our future, It has to. It's kind of went quiet a bit with the whole Lennox Town and all that kind of thing. And I agree with you, Tony Watt, and I was interested to see him taking to Twitter. Was it yesterday, the day before, a boy had said, you'd probably use your attitude. And Tony Watt said, well, if you know me so well, tell me what a problem with my attitude is. And, suddenly these things become accepted facts, because somebody somewhere said something once, and suddenly, if you want, people always, to me, see the best of Tony Watt as the Barcelona game. To me, the best of Tony Watt was up at Inverness last year, where he skipped past the defence and chipped the goalie in the blink of an eye.
I said you said at the game, Paul, yesterday, funny enough, and it was the same squad of boys I was there, and I says, we haven't got that in the squad now. For the forward line, and it's not Chris Commons is playing out his skin, playing sublime football, but apart from him, really, and it's a shame, because you're looking at guys like Stokes and you're looking at Samaras, I don't mind wee Pookie, but Pookie's no a striker, he's out in the wing and he'll look industrious. You think I'm quite negative. I was sitting yesterday and I says to the boy, as I say, John's in his mid-50s and that, and I says, who's the worst player you've seen at Celtic? And he went, James Forrest, and I went, I'm away for a Bovril, he's peace, mate, I'd go with Reggie Blinker. But no, it was just, do you think there's going to be much movement in or out coming at this window?
Well, I tell you, you'll all be aware of the fact that Peter Lower always says we like to come out of a window stronger than we went in, and when was the last time that actually happened? We signed Hartley in 07, the last day. And then in 08 we signed Samaras, Hinkle, Barry Robson. And that was probably the last time, because then after that, the following year, it was Willow Flood, you know. And I think the whole club needs it. Don't I mean? You know, we've kind of talked about Samaras' probably shelf life's up, and players, new players excite fans. It'd be good to get somebody in that would actually, I'm not saying we're going to go for the Robbie Keanes or the Bellamy's or that, but just to see straight away, because there's nothing better than you got to watch your team. It's a new striker. Scores on his debut, boom, you're off. And I think that's kind of been missing for us. And I think you see players like Stokes and all that benefit that. I mean, Harper said earlier, he needs to feed off of somebody, and he's absolutely named it to feed off. He's the guy that's being fed off by other players.
Yeah. I think you're right, Paul. The current squad, they take a lift off getting new signings in the door as well. But it's got to be the right ones. But as you say, when we're skitting about this £2 million, £1.5 million, I think it's just a occupational hazard that was going to get a few duds.
Aye, I think Lennon said that himself, where he said, if you keep fishing in that market, it's really getting harder and harder to progress in the Champions League.
Aye. Yep.
So who's away to the tournament in Turkey then, apart from Paul? We Paul the Tim's flying in the night, Well, see, Ajax has already had their first training session. I've just seen the pictures being put up now. It's just, I was actually thinking today, and you could have put it in a tweet, it could sound ridiculous. How good were the Celtic staff in the 60s by sorting transatlantic and South American tours with one telephone line and a phone book? Compared to now, with multimedia and phones and Skypes and all that, and can't get a player on the North Sea? Oh, it's crazy. Should have got the Celtic Ajax family back together and shared a plane. Served all the hassles. But that's I'll love it in Levy's, and if I don't get the chance, I'll wish all the boys in the States a big all the best for their wee soiree next weekend or whatever it is in Philly.
Just bringing that up now in a few minutes before I finish you off, so we understand.
Alright lads, well, I wish you all the best. I'll see you soon when the games start back. I guess I'll talk to you soon.
Cheers, man.
Yeah, well, Steve, the parrot, back again. We're almost done, aren't we?
Yeah.
I've just got one more thing to read out here. It's a blog on Hill Hill Media at the minute. It's called Celtic Supporters Set to Invade Philadelphia. Right, I'm going to read the whole thing out because it's quite that detailed. The 2nd Street Playboy Celtic Supporters Club are happy to announce the weekend full of events for the East Coast Celtic Supporters Fela, the weekend of January 17th to 19th in Philadelphia. It's going to be the biggest Celtic Supporters weekend in North America since the North American Federation of Celtic Supporters Conventions last summer in Las Vegas. All events will be located at the Plough and Stars pub at 123 Chestnut Street, Philadelphia. You go in there. John Joe Devlin is the barman, and Seamus Cummins will be in there as well, I imagine. Hotel rooms can be booked at the Wyndham Philadelphia Historic District, 400 Arch Street, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and there's a phone number here as well. I'll stick up the link to this blog in the chat room now in a second and put it up with the information on the show. There's a group rate on their Playboy Celtic event. Okay, the first day is Friday, the January 17th, from 5 to 7 p.m. The gathering of Celts. Come and meet fellow Tims over pints by the fire and hang your club banners. Every banner will be allowed in. Nobody will be banned. Don't worry about that. 7 p.m. Live music from Atherton Rye. County Galway's own Gabriel Donoghue. A guy going to be singing a few tunes. Saturday, January 18th, 9 a.m. Tour of the Philadelphia and Gordon Memorial and Blessing. Front and Chestnut Street, only steps from the Plough, not far. 10 a.m. is Celtic vs Motherwell. 12 p.m. post-match, Sean Noss was that sing-song by the fire. 1 p.m. Celtic Youth Coach Willie McNabb Q&A about Celtic's youth programme in North America and Lennoxtown. 2:30 p.m. Graham Wilson and the Rev will be doing a live Beyond the Wave show in the pub, I imagine. 5:30 p.m. There's a little question mark beside this, so it might not be on. This is the wrong time. Raymond and Maggie Coleman from Ardbow, County Tyrone, leading the boys and girls in song. I imagine that'll be a good Rebel get together. Official release party for Mickey's new album, Last Glance, featuring Duffy's Cut, which is a fantastic song. Sunday, January 18th, 11 a.m. Irish breakfast, of course. 1 to 4 p.m. Playboys Tour of Philly. 5 to 9 p.m. traditional Irish music session. More information can be found at www.playboyscsc.com and on Twitter at playboyscsc. So there's plenty of information there. I'll stick that link for that up in the chat room now for anybody that's thinking of going to it. So it's stuck in there for anybody that wants to go. And apart from that, I think we're done here tonight. So, one second, do my bit and pieces here. So, it's been a good show tonight. Plenty to talk about. Talk about football, talk about players, talked about completely irrelevant journalists who talk about pish. And I don't know, I've had a good old chat. The Pirates been on, a new caller. It's a new year. It's a new year. So that's us done for the day.
So that means you put me back on for nothing. Ah, fuck.
Are you back on?
James, back on. You're back on now. I want to ask. Sorry, see, before we go, I want to ask James a question, right?
I might be able to answer it, but on you go.
Well, I'm not asking you then.
Right. On you go, mate. Brilliant.
No, what I'm saying is, when we were talking about the Green Brigade stuff, right, and then I kind of realised you'd left the call. So, see if Peter Law gets round the table and talks to you and stuff like that and reinstates your section, would you go back?
If the group decided as a collective...
No, I never asked you that. I asked you, would you go back?
It depends on the group.
No, you're a Celtic supporter. Forget all the pish about the group, right? See if Peter Law says you can all get your section back and you can all go back to the football, and that's all you want to do. So...
But the thing is...
telling you is to spend it on the group.
But that's the thing, but as a member of the group, obviously, there's got to be a certain decision made there. But obviously, would your first instinct be, I want to go back, James?
Aye, I think most people probably would be the first instinct, right, we're going back, let's go. I think if it was an individual thing on myself, I would be back the new. I would have took the relocation.
That's
right,
what I mean.
And I didn't, for obviously,
that's fair enough,
Aye. But the thing is, what obviously people's hoping is Jeanette came out with stuff before, I know it's Christmas and things, about people going as a collective and saying, right, this is what we want. We'll find out then, and if it happens, if we're allowed to go along, that's often buts in it, and it would have to wait. There's no use thinking too much ahead. I'm hoping it does, obviously, because the main thing for being there is to support the team in the way we want to support it, and that's why we pay the season tickets. Personally, I bought a season ticket, and I didn't go to every home game, so I was losing out it. But I did it because I liked the way we supported the team, So I would have to see, because there's more in it for me, as I say, because I don't go to every game. So I'd have to see if it happens. We would obviously sit down and work it out and go, right, what are we going to do? And it would come to, I don't know, some people might say, no, fuck them, we'll come back. But then again, the people, I think, would have been in the group now. They would have probably left and went, fuck yous, I'm never going back. So I think the ones that's in the group, I would hopefully think that 100% is say, right, we're going to go back, things hopefully will change, and we'll go back. But as I say, we've been hearing things about it for years, the harassments, and everything that's happened before. I don't need to get it again, because it's getting on obviously for years. We'd have to see if things are going to change, and obviously with the meetings and hopefully what Jeanette says will come off, and you'll see then if we're invited or we're not invited. I think that would be a test case.
Yeah. All right, mate. No,
So
just
what do you
interesting
think?
again.
If you think yourself,
I think he's with Dogger back. I just think he's wanting to go to watch Celtic, and you just want to get treated with a bit of respect and to get the. I don't think he's think you're better Celtic fans than anybody else. I just think he's want to just go and watch the team, but I think he's getting treated worse than most supporters. There is a bit of a rogue element that attaches itself to these and stuff like that, but I think it's getting blown well out of proportion with the sort of punishment that's handed out. And Celtic are effectively losing a lot of money over this. So I think if I was running Celtic, I'd have used in the more.
aye, but things would have to. I don't think. Well, I can't speak for the group. I'm speaking for myself now. Go back and kid it, things are rosy. Something would probably need to change, whether it's for both sides, as you were saying, the rogue element and and things like that. I don't know. Things would need to change. It couldn't just go back and everything's on story. It would have to be more. Even though we've always had talks and links with talking with Lawwell and all that. It's obviously not been great the amount of times we've been banned and harassed. Something would have to change.
Yep. Good stuff, mate. We'll discuss it more in the coming weeks, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Can I've had a wee text here for Liam. I need to read something out for Brummy Boy. So, Liam, who writes for the HomeBhoys, he's Lost Boys, whatever, right? He's looking to start running a series of articles around Celtic supporters clubs around the world. So if MD fancies writing a piece in their supporters club, please get in touch with HomeBhoys or Brummy Boy via Twitter. So you can tweet the HomeBhoys Twitter, give us a DM or something like that with your email address or whatever. And if you want to write an article on your Celtic supporters club, and I take it a lot of this have been supporters clubs in Scotland and Ireland or England or anywhere in the world, because obviously we've got supporters clubs all around the world, so he's looking to pull something together about the sort of worldwide Celtic community. So that should be not a bad wee project. So if Andy's got anything,
If you email homeboys@gmail.com, we can forward that on as well. That's the normal way.
Yeah.
And if you've got a very weird and obscure place, you have a Celtic supporters club, that'd be brilliant. I'd love the fans.
I've seen one in Kathmandu, but I don't know if it's a real one, but there's been photos of one in Kathmandu in Nepal.
Was it me, you and Sam were in that pub and your man showed us the Kabul CSC Afghanistan flag?
I think that you might have some dodgy links.
Right, that's a start.
Oh, I've got something.
No, Jesus, here. Go ahead.
Competition time. As I says, we've got three calendars to give away. Got to say Jason, who donated his, Brendan, who phoned in earlier, who donated his, and Jock O'Connor, who me and Jason do the Nice Boys podcast with. So we've got 3 calendars to give away. I'll just get it there and there. I'm trying to rack my brains for questions. So if anybody who listens to this show for a while, to get a calendar, completely free of charge, post it to you. Email homeboys@gmail.com with your answer, and the question is, what is the parrot's nickname for Mo Bangura?
Okay.
See another thing. See if it is somebody that's been listening to the show for years and they enter this and they haven't bought a calendar off you, we're going to find their IP address and we're going to give them viruses left, right and centre.
So that means they're just going to enter now.
Dave's got plenty of viruses to give. He's had them for weeks.
Oh, I didn't even know half of it, mate. That's another podcast altogether.
Right, so that's us done for that. It's nearly 5 to 10.
Johnny just texted me to say, where's his calendar?
It was posted. They must have it.
He's not got it.
Must have it. It was posted well before Christmas.
Really?
Aye. Well before Christmas.
His postman's having a great time, tell you. Right, so that's us done. It's 5 to 10. That was a good show. So Harvey, want to say goodbye?
Just, Johnny, if he really doesn't have it, just, I'm sending him another one, obviously.
You can get mine and there's only 2 out for raffle.
I've got 5 left to sell, so I'll obviously send him another one. Right. But that's no bad. 300, that's the first one that's went missing. He's a liar. He's geezer.
I reckon.
I tried to get another one.
I reckon his missus has intercepted it.
No, you think all the photos are all stained and he's got to get a new one?
Come on.
It's a family show. It's a family show, James.
Something Saturday afternoon, no?
Alright, folks. Harvey, want to say goodbye?
Cheerio.
Jason.
Tiddle pip.
Paul.
Sayonara.
James the man.
Just to say, it was a great show today. I think it was excellent with John coming on. One of your better shows. Thank you very much. Ciao.
Not a problem. That's us done. We will see you. What's the next game? I haven't even checked the next game.
Everton Norwich for me on Saturday. Come on, you Blue Boys.
Go on, Everton.
Are you going, Jason?
Aye.
What a life you lead, man.
Absolutely. Fucking man of leisure.
Who's playing, Jason?
Norwich.
Alright, good guy, Bill.
The clue is that the Everton Norwich.
I didn't hear that, but I was too busy thinking of Torquay getting fucking get into the conference.
Well, in your Gary Hooper jersey.
Nah, definitely no.
He might score. That could be a cert.
Where's my McGeady jersey?
Samaras might score for Everton.
He plays on the left.
Right, we're well over time here. 10 minutes to go. So listen, so does nobody know what the next game is then? No, because I haven't checked.
It's Motherwell at home.
Motherwell at home. Well, absolutely.
The next 6 are at home, so there you go.
Superb. So there you go. James, you can relax.
When's the Aberdeen game, the cup game?
8th of February.
8th of February. Looking forward to that.
It's the same day as the race night. It's the same day as the race night, so contact at Tara Mag MG.
Yep.
That should be a good game. Because
Go Easter Road away. Go to that one.
Good man. Right, well, that's us done. See you all again next week. We'll have a chat. Hopefully, something pop up between now and then. And see you then. Good luck, folks. And hail, hail. Play a wee bit of music. Something different. Something old that nobody's ever heard of. It's one of these weird bands that I'm into from years ago. So, hail, hail. Good luck. See you later.
Hello.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Standing on the corner drinking nitroglycerin on model citizen, cause we deny listening. Stoned on a stoop, I'm living off notches. Wasn't us that got busted by a so-called justice. 151 on my back.